Pearl demonstrated the full process of
Oh, wow.
creating a Mechatron army. Based on what I saw.
I didn't expect a cutscene to start this off as we head up to Pearl's office. Wait, what? Wait, we're floating? I didn't expect this, like, heading up to Pearl's office. What the hell is this? It's like a 2D backdrop, like a painted world almost. No, correct reaction from Stella and March. Correct reaction. Wonderment. Like the look of wonder on the face of March and Stella is how I felt in that moment.
Express. Nice to see you again.
Because again, I was like, you know, I was starting out the video and I was like, I'll go into the Pearl's office. You know what I mean? And like, I was expecting like maybe like, you know, a character to be like, you want to head up now? You know, I need to click yes and you go up there. No, they just went in this beautiful like cutscene full of magic and wonder. And like, you can see it in Stella March's face. Like they like, and that's what I love about Stella March so much, by the way. Other people might be like, what's happening, right? But Stella March are like, let's just go with the flow. We're about to float together. They even grabbed each other's hands. We're like, let's go. It's so sweet, you know? But yeah, we're going to be talking to Pearl. We saw some really beautiful stuff there. But yeah.
Thank you for your gracious hospitality, Madam Pearl.
Yeah, it sets the tone, right? Because like, look at Stella March. They're like smiling now. By the way, hello, baby gangsters. This is Calvin, also known as Homer, and this is my first ever playthrough of Honkai Star Rail. And yeah, let's keep going.
I understand there was a minor incident in the lower lobby involving someone impersonating a Pearl Lux employee. I hope it didn't spoil your enjoyment.
Improved. Her hoax improved the enjoyment.
We're fine. Don't worry about us. But how are things with you? Did you lose any valuable tech? Blueprints? Or top secret information?
Good question, right?
No. Pearl Lux's data firewall remains untouched, and all assets under security network surveillance are intact. The only change is an additional expense claim under my employee ID.
What, someone use your employee ID? What's so interesting about that as well is that, like, again, this, like, Nihilux didn't, like, steal anything, didn't bring anything with her, but, like, that adds credence to the idea more and more that she just wanted us to get the full view of maybe some stuff here in Perlux, right? If she didn't take anything, but she took a liking to giving us a tour, then like that means that, yeah, for sure, like what we were saying last time, there was a reason she showed us all that.
Never mind. I can make a preliminary assessment that this was the result of someone's momentary impulse.
Okay.
Lately, mishaps have been piling up, like dark clouds before a downpour. Casting shadows of uncertainty over my plans.
She meant... Remember Nihilux used her card to pay for some gifts? Yeah, the gifts that we're taking home, like the pom-pom toys? Like, legitimately was used for on Pearl's expenses.
Could you be referring to the Herald of Death?
Everything changed with the Herald of Death. Everything changed.
33 citizens were found dead in the Dovebrook district. In addition, an IPC specialist assigned to negotiate the purchase of a Mask of Elation died in an unexpected incident. This party has made overt threats to public order and is clearly challenging the IPC. My intuition tells me this is only the beginning.
So was the IPC specialist, was that Scott or was it someone else? Again, sorry if my memory sometimes is shaky because I know Scott like got brutally killed, right? We know that. But there was probably like other, we know in that incident, because the way she phrases like, you know, in an unexpected incident is, you know, the phrasing here. It sounds like it's separate from the Dovebrook district incident, but maybe it's the same incident.
Managing capital and managing a corporation share one thing in common. That is, an aversion to risk and a pursuit of stability. And I bear both responsibilities.
She's taking this on to heart.
As the executive officer of Plain Arcadia, I bear an inescapable responsibility for the safety of this world.
Whoa.
As one of the 10 Stonehearts, I hope to bring the Phantasmoon Games to a swift and safe conclusion.
I guess I wonder what the protocol is here for that, because a lot of times, like, you know, you would expect, like, maybe we should end the Phantasmoon Games, but I think it's not really like a like the power of the Phantasm game seems like they would still go on even if the IPC said, hey, officially it's not happening. Like, you can't stop it because it's something to do with AHA, right? It's not like it's an official, like, government-funded event.
Rather than staging another dangerous battle, like what happened at Graphia Academy, I hope the supplicants can show the people of this world miracles of joy and happiness, instead of sorrow and rage during the Phantasmoon games.
And didn't Nihilux say, well, everyone's been saying this, like, there used to be even, I think Himiko was saying as well, how, like, there used to be, like, you know, more, it didn't always used to be conflict that happened, but, like, conflict, like, gets attention a lot now. But, like, if you can maybe get attention through other means, it can work too. In terms of miracles.
Therefore, I'd like to hear what the Express wants from all this. Please, tell me.
Sure.
What's your ultimate goal for joining the Phantasmoon games?
Oh? Oh? Before setting off, you spoke to Himiko about your goals. Okay, that's interesting. Okay, what a great way of doing that. Showing us like a little bit of like a... Yeah, flashback. Great.
You mentioned earlier that you wanted to talk
Sick.
about the Phantasmoon games with
Great
me.
way of doing that, because then we can understand it a bit better, and we can fully understand it through like a conversation with Himiko, which is always like a really easy way to understand her feelings. But yeah, she's Pearl is taking the responsibility of what happened with the Herald of Death very seriously, of course. She's also talking about the idea how like it seems like it's targeted toward the IBC, and then also at the same time too, it's like a situation where like she wants to bring this to or she says she wants to bring to a swift end, right? And maybe giving the mask away, and again, giving out the mask to Ashvale and Silverwolf does work like that. But it's also one of those things where, like, obviously, like, you know, I think any IPC member is going to be, like, in some ways, like, somewhat of an unreliable, like, storyteller. And, because you can't, like, it's not that I'm sitting here constantly going, no, well, I am kind of, like, say, F the IPC as a whole. But, like, I mean, like, in terms of, like, the individual characters, I feel like no matter who it is, we have to like hold them to a standard sometimes. Now I know like it's like, you know, someone say you love Aventurine. Yeah, I do. Like I adore him greatly, 110%. But I trust Aventurine to like not do something terrifyingly terrible. But yeah, like it's interesting that like, you know, she says she wants to bring it to a swift end, because we know, as I said, like you can't just officially end it. You can't just announce the ending of a God-given event, right? That's like saying that would be like to me. Maybe I'm wrong, but like that. Like I don't think I'm wrong whatsoever. Actually, like it's a thing that's been around before the IPC. It'll be a thing around after the IPC as well. Well, supposedly, it'd be like, for example, the government coming out tomorrow and being like, "We're putting a stop to rain. There will be no more rain. It's outlawed in Ireland." And then everyone goes, "What?" And then it rains tomorrow. It's like, yeah, buddy, you can't just say it's not your choice. So I understand why it can't just be like closed down as if it is like a festival, you know? Yeah.
I'd like to talk about our ultimate goal for participating in the Phantasmoon games.
Got something in mind?
It's crazy how like Himiko is one of the earliest designs. And here's the thing, all Honkai Star Rail early designs are still so like look at like Asta is still so incredible too, but like they really like wanted Himiko to be like perfect in terms of like makeup, color coding, even like, you know, the tint like under her eyes and stuff. Like it's just a perfectly like designed character, you know?
I think the rules and rewards for the Phantasmoon games are a little too vague.
Okay.
That's exactly what I thought when I joined the games 15 years ago. These games allow supplicants to do anything, good or evil. As a result, everything that unfolds in the course of these games exists beyond control.
And that's so dark, and it's so true as well. Is like, if you tell someone like, hey, all you have to do right now is go get people's attention, right? Someone might stand up on top of a podium and like take off their top. Like, you know, a dude's gonna take off his top and swing it around and go, woo, 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 and everyone's going, hey, look at that. But then some other person will take it the wrong way and go over and like punch someone in the face. You know what I mean? Like it's so true.
What's more vague is what can winners do when they share the power of the elation.
Terrifying.
According to legends and historical records from Ahatopia, victors typically first witness the manifestation of Aha themselves.
Which again is already crazy, and we know that from like, you know, our history with the Eons.
They listen to the victor's wishes and grant them permission to use their power. And the applications of this power seem to be boundlessly vast. When faced with countless choices, the situation becomes even more thorny than having no choice at all.
This is such a bad analogy, but like, you know, when you have like 1,000,001 shows to watch and you end up watching nothing, I wonder if like just something like where it's like when you have so many choices, like, does it become harder to pick exactly what you want? Or I guess to choose something, you have to come into like this situation knowing exactly what you want. But I imagine for some people, once you get to that dance, when you're there and like you're told that you have all these choices of what you can do, I imagine a lot of things go through your head, you know? But in this case, you're saying like, you know, the situation becomes more thorny than having no choice at all. I imagine there is like a trickery to that, like to having so much choice.
Sometimes I wonder if we had agreed to become the leader of the Anti-Destruction Alliance, how would this trip have turned out?
I want Aha to be the leader.
If I win, I'll give up sharing Aha's power and ask them to be the leader of the Anti-Destruction Alliance.
That's crazy, right? That's I didn't expect this at all. That's to have an Eon be like the leader of the Anti-Destruction Alliance against the destruction?
That's such a hilarious idea. I can totally picture
Okay,
it.
for joking, that's like, I mean, dead serious. I'm not joking. Yeah, because like, that's a crazy idea.
I get it. That's actually a brilliant
And would that
idea.
work? Just because, again, if you have like, you know, the power of Neon, you can like have your wishes granted. Like, it's like, hey, using your audience to talk to Aha instead.
To begin with, this is far more meaningful than taking up a god's authority and squandering it freely for a single minute.
Yeah, no, it's actually like a really, it's incredibly like noble in a way, because like, also I would imagine then if like Aha is the leader of the Anti-Destruction Alliance, the IPC can't really like do some like, you know, they're not gonna play trickery with, they might actually though, in the IPC, but you know what I mean? They can't like, it's not like they're dealing with like a lower level, you know, gambler. Like they're dealing with an Eon here. They can't as swiftly win a debate or do some like finagling to trick an Eon, you know?
Secondly, placing an Eon on the righteous cause of opposing the universe's greatest threat is something neither the IPC nor the god itself could reasonably object to.
This is so interesting, man. I wasn't expecting this at all.
Finally, this would also help us avoid the risk we currently face. Cooperating with the IPC while remaining wary of being drawn into its ambitions during the operation of the Anti-Destruction
100%.
Alliance.
Because that's a big deal, right? We have to retain our impartiality.
If we handle the negotiations well, perhaps Aha could stand behind the Astral Express.
Oh my god.
Just like our cooperation with the Xianzhou, where we could maintain distance from one another while offering support from afar.
This is so interesting to me, man. Getting Aha's help for this as well. And again, I love that like Stell has this out of like the usual like realm of possibility idea that is crazy, that's wild. But like, you know, that expression like it's crazy enough just to work. It's like, you know, it's kind of in a way very noble compared to like other people's gifts. They're not even kind of noble. It's very noble compared to like what other people's wishes would be.
The only question is, will Aha agree?
Right.
Don't worry about that. From what I know about them, they'll agree.
Yeah?
What kind of god of games would they be if they broke their own rules? Besides, they still owe the Express a debt.
Yeah? Is this...
This is their IOU for the Express debt from when they were traveling with Akavili.
Stop.
Complete with their signature and seal.
Pop-Pop! Oh my god, Pop-Pop was waiting for this moment. This is why you're the conductor. No way! We do not have an actual IOU for Aha here. Solely for the sake of fun, I have on numerous occasions during my voyage aboard the Astral Express misappropriated and vandalized public property of the Express, thereby incurring financial loss to the Express and liability for third-party damages. Having received the conductor's earnest instruction, I have come to a profound realization of my transgressions. I hereby itemize all outstanding reparations below to be settled at a future date. The itemized list of reparations due to, from Aha is as follows. The tele-microwave oven, the supersonic slippers, the optimal camouflage cloak, anti-gravity levitation carpet, Hader Bruins bearing the striking resemblance of swords. Oh, he used it as a sword. Liability for entry is joint assumed with Akavili. Leviathan Tooth, trimmed conductor's outfit, Oregon dragonflies deposited by the morning actors, and just quantities as well, besides like quantity 2, quantity 1. Medical expenses occurred due to allergic reactions for the introduction of electronic mustard into rice cooker. Like, that's probably the worst crime, right? Putting something that can like give someone allergies inside of the communal cooker. Graffiti removal fees for the stated complex of White Rolling Stone Planet. Repair costs for the wall in the Museum of Animated Arts, and recovery expenses for escaped collection items. 3 portraits and 7 specimens remained unaccounted for to date. Incident during extravehicular angling, an erratic comet fish caused a collision, resulting in damages to, that many solar system. 3.1415. Okay, solar sails and planet Goldberg. No liability for his entry is jointly assumed at Akavili. Satellite unit from the Centurial Stellar Ring. Six-eyed Yaks. Anducci of Huronte. Quantity 9. Anti-B stored Naval Canyon sourced from the old Lunatum exhibit hall. 1 artificial satellite neutralized via artificial discharge. Several pillows lost the atmosphere of planet Sly during a pillow fight, inclusive of conductor Pom-Pom's favorite bolster. Fines levied by the Cosmic Paleontological Conservation Association regarding gastric ulcers in the Void Song whale, induced by an unauthorized expedition with Void Song whale. The creature's stomach. Xenohydros released from the custody of the architects. Roaring. Oh my Jesus Christ, what is wrong with you? If I'm almost out of breath reading it, you know what I mean? Not really, but you know what I mean. Like, at that point, buddy, like, I feel like something's wrong. Yeah, a shockingly occurred multiple outstanding tabs at World's End in the capacity of the Nameless. A shockingly lengthy entry, extensive enough to reach the ground. Crispy crumble pom-pom pie, 22 of which 3 were utilized as fishing bait. 9 dispenses yak fodder, 10 deployed as projectiles against space pirates during a skirmish. Please accept my sincere apologies for the misappropriation of conductor's labor-intensive provisions. Half, an Astral Express. Deader. Aha. This scroll signature looks like sketchy no matter how you look at it. Is this really from Aha themselves? I don't know, but like, I choose to believe it is. Like, the fact that like he was just hanging out with Akavili doing all this bullcrap is hilarious.
Passenger, use this to blackmail them.
Pom-Pom.
That one will definitely give in to your
my
demands.
god, I love Pom-Pom. This is why the conductor, man.
Probably.
I love Pom-Pom. Probably.
So, you're saying you want Aha to take on the leadership of the Anti-Destruction
That was
Alliance?
so fun. And again, I love Pom-Pom is like the sweetest person in the world, right? But they like are more life experienced than probably most people are, right? They've seen more things than more people would, right? So like what you have from Pom-Pom is like this usual like sweetness, which is like he wants to accept everybody into the Astral Express because that's what the Astral Express is. But then also Pom-Pom, and this is another thing to note with Pom-Pom. Pom-Pom, as I said, has seen more of the world than anybody. So Pom-Pom coming up with the suggestion to blackmail a god, to me, like, is hilarious and out of left field. But at the same time, too, it's like, if there's anyone's going to do it, it's someone who, like, you know, has seen everything there is to see, you know? I don't know, it's a really great moment. Really great moment. So Aha is the leader of the Destruction Alliance.
Logical extrapolation. Failed. Success rate. Indeterminable.
Oh my god.
This peculiar proposal nearly brought my thought process to
But is that not really fun though? The fact that like that's how crazy this is, like an Intellatron basically got like, you know, halted.
This request is far too lacking in structure. Yet within an irrational context, it seems to conceal a certain kind of
So you're
logic.
saying I don't get it. This is Intellatron language for some human saying, I don't really get it, but it sounds like you have some sort of goal. You have some sort of logic in between this.
If the universe is the master of Elation's playground, then they should do something
Makes
about
sense.
this playground that's about to be destroyed.
Makes sense. I say like there's a character in like an anime I watch who always takes money for everything, and there's people wrongly always like see her in like this weird way where like she's not a good person, but like they will be like, oh, there's no way she'd stand up for this character because she only cares about money. But like she understands that like if the world gets destroyed and this character dies and the world gets destroyed, then I won't have anything to spend money on. So it's always like this thing where it's like, yeah, Aha isn't someone who's going to be like, I can't wait to help all the children of all the world and everybody. Oh my god. But if you remove the one thing that probably makes them happy, which is like this entertainment, if everything's destroyed, yeah, like of course they probably should do something.
As expected of the Trailblazer, your thinking is so out of the box.
Yes.
I've learned something today. However, I don't think you stand much of a chance in the games. Because? I've joined as a supplicant.
Oh, so this is gonna be a boss fight? Oh my god. Wait, so that means, who are the supplicants so far? So we have Blade, right? Sunday, Stell, Sparksy Sparkle is technically still a supplicant, but they got defeated, right? So so it's Blade, Stell, Sparksy, Pearl, Sunday, and Ashvale. Who was there? Another supplicant? There's the murderer, right? The murderer who's going on killing people. So that's 7. And is there 8 masks? That means is there an 8th one already? Maybe I'm just misremembering exactly who that could be, if there is an 8th one already. Is there someone in the IPC? I'll remember as we go forward if there is someone there as well. Is this gonna be a boss fight?
Not a single rule in the Phantasmoon games requires supplicants to engage in combat, so there's no need for hostility between us.
A plain Arcadia's administrator is a supplicant?
Yep. She's a supplicant. Beautiful hair, by the way. Like I always think her hair reminds me of like Jin Soul from Artemis, like back in the Luna days when she had like the blonde hair in Luna. Hula Hoop era. Yeah.
At the same time, she has at her disposal assets of staggering magnitude. What, Perlux Corp among them.
Sorry, flip that era. Sorry.
Aww, with money and power on her side, wouldn't her chances of success be way higher than ours?
While I totally get that this is something that we have to come up against in terms of, and March is so right, money and power, 110%. We also like, I know it maybe seems like it's a blanket and a statement to say this. It's Stell. And I feel like I don't even have to like extrapolate. It's Stell, you know?
As I previously proposed to Miss Himiko, I'm willing to cooperate with the Astral Express to ensure the smooth progression of the Phantasmoon games.
But the Astral Express isn't your only partner, is it?
No, not at all. Not at all.
I have 2 other allies. However, you all are my most promising ones. Once the Astral Express joins, it will maximize the safety and success of this Ionic game. And I will do everything in my power to fulfill my partner's wishes within that limited minute.
I do like that she says safety, by the way, because again, I love that they always lean into the idea of that the Astral Express are not just like this force that like is so good for like cleaning up stuff or stopping bad guys. They also do give people a sense of like, oh, they're here, right? Okay, good, they're here. We can see what, like, okay, great, you know? I do like that as well. They do add some normalcy because you know that they're gonna work their hardest to make sure people like are safe, you know? This is just like the Anti-Destruction Alliance. Yeah, honestly, Stell, very, 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 very great catch here, right? Because if she has an alliance with Yao Guan, right? And that's what we're guessing is Yao Guan. If she has an alliance with Silverwolf, that's the Stellar Hunters. And then she also has an alliance. Now she's technically trying to make an alliance with us as well. It does seem like there is another roundabout way of getting people to work with her on her side.
As we told you before, our strategy is to become a sail, advance and retreat together. The Astral Express is not a lone supplicant, since we have our own allies in the games.
Sunday, right?
An ally like Sparksy? It's true that you defeated her and
we
took
have her
her
mask,
mask.
okay.
But given her typical decision-making style, Sparksy isn't exactly what you'd call a reliable ally.
Sunday, though, right? Besides her mask, I also have another one? Besides her, I have another ally. Yeah.
Hypothesis. The Sinwish Syndicate's missing mask. I thought it fell into the Cienzo's
she doesn't know yet.
hands. Don't tell me. Yao Guang gave it to you
Gave it to
guys?
Sunday.
That's right. 3 against 3. We're tied
That's
at
so
the
cool how
moment.
there's like a power play about who owns masks, and right now we own like the Sparksy mask. We technically have the Sunday mask. We technically have our mask too. And honestly, like I would say that like if we're looking for more allies, I think Ashvale could go either way, right? I do think he could because he has ties to Pearl. He's also been given a mask by Pearl. So, that's another one. Yeah, maybe that's actually one of our alliances. Actually, sorry, it's not Yaguan. It's Ashvale, and we technically have Yaguan in a way. She has Ashvale then, and Silverwolf, right? And Blade. That's who her masks were that she gave out and handed out, I think. Right? It's okay. Yeah, we know it's tree versus tree anyway.
With this new variable in play, I'll have to adjust my extrapolations. But the conclusion seems unchanged. After all, as the administrator of this world, I have the natural advantage in resources.
Bro, we've literally fought against... Yeah, that's your biggest weakness? Oh, Stella, I want to hear this. We've literally fought against people who, like, who had the ins and outs and the inner workings of the world, like, all in their mind.
An IPC senior executive, Clean Arcadia's administrator, a member of the 10 Stonehearts, joining the games personally. It certainly has an intimidating ring to it. But when you think about it, isn't this identity precisely the greatest burden Madame Pearl has to
Interesting,
overcome?
okay.
She's right. Your identity is far too sensitive. You want to control these games and end it safely and quickly.
Okay.
But Plain Arcadia's citizens might not see it this way. All they see is the all-powerful IPC and an influential executive pulling all the strings. Your every action will be scrutinized twice over.
That makes perfect sense. People don't want to see the IPC win. That's actually, like, honestly, like, very true. But yeah, that's a really great point from Stell and Welt, right? Like, because you're on a pedestal, because you're already someone who's in a higher position of power, you do have more eyes on you. And, like, here's the thing, rightly so. I want to make that perfectly clear. Rightly so. If you were someone who's in a position of power, whether it be, like, someone who's in politics, who's been elected as an official, someone who's, like, the head of a company, someone who is in a position of power, you should be scrutinized twice as much. You should be watched over twice as much. You should be. Right? That's why I always think it's so funny when, like, people are like they'll be like, leave my elected official alone, and like it becomes like they think they're friends with them or something, and it's like, guys, like they signed up for scrutiny, you know? That's what it is. They have to be scrutinized, and yeah, that makes perfect sense. You should be scrutinized in a position of power for sure. Of course you should. People don't want to see the IPC win. This is also true, as you said.
A sharp observation, I must say. Quite impressive.
Hell yeah.
But I do not believe you yourself would overlook this. Madame Pearl, what is it that you seek to obtain from the Phantasmoon games at any cost?
At any cost.
What I seek is a treasure lost to this world's history. I want to recreate Graphia's divine art of imagenesis.
Wait, so this is what she was talking about earlier, right? Remember when she with Silverwolf as well, right? And with Himiko.
Does that have something to do with
Or
painting?
because remember she was talking about the special.
Hard to believe, no? My birth originated from the theme assigned by the celestial differentiator of planet Scrulum. Art. At first, I was nothing more than a machine that imitated human paintings. For an Intellitron, generating works of art is no great challenge.
Sure.
Day after day, I studied. Day after day, I exhausted every possibility. I could instantly analyze the proportional structure and pigment composition of any painting. I could precisely reproduce every pixel of Graphia's masterpieces. Yet I could not create as she did.
There's some sort of metaphor here, though, isn't there? Like, I think they are leaning into it heavily as well, in my opinion, in some ways. There is some sort of metaphor to the idea of, like, you know, creation versus, like creation with passion, maybe, versus, like, creation to recreate. And I think it's like one of those things where like, you know, they might be talking about like more of the literal sense and the technical sense of like how like this works here as well. But like she can analyze everything, she can have everything down perfectly, but like does she have that same type of like, because again, you're not Graphia. That's the important part.
Graphia's ultimate creation was establishing the world in canvas at the end of the Phantom Moon games. I want to understand her thoughts at that moment and touch the
This is such a cool motivation,
creation.
right? And again, I'm not saying in terms of like I support her, but I'm saying in terms of like a character motivation to be like, I paint all the time, I recreate art all the time, I've mathematically tied down exactly what I can do to make an art piece look good, but I need to understand Graphia. I want to understand what her thought was at that moment when she was like, you know, creating the world in canvas. I want to understand her. It's actually like a really like, again, great character motivation.
Is this your personal pursuit? Or the IPC's demands on this world?
I wonder if it's a bit of both.
Both.
Yeah.
The IPC's point of view is far more pragmatic. The world in canvas is a dimension that can shield us from the Antimatter Legion's warfare. And they've always been eager to master this technology.
This makes perfect sense. This makes perfect sense.
Unfortunately, it seems we can't convince each other to back out for now.
I'm not saying it makes perfect sense in terms of like, oh, the IPC is so correct, yes, let's go. But I'm saying in terms of like the idea that the IPC would want to harness this, that it makes sense story-wise.
Then, I have another proposal. Why don't we shift our perspective and turn our attention to those two supplicants who haven't
So I was right.
yet?
Okay, there's two. So she's talking about the Moira and the 8th one.
These two individuals' objectives are unclear, and their abilities remain a mystery. If left unchecked, we might see a repeat of the Herald of Death tragedy. I have a cooperation proposal that could help us gather intelligence on them, and I'm willing to share this piece of information with you all.
Yeah, sure. I guess that doesn't come free, right?
That is correct. But all you need to do is sacrifice a tiny sliver of your reputation.
I don't like the sound of that. I do not like the sound of that at all. That sounds awful.
Before we move on to the details of our cooperation, would you like to take a short break and have some tea to wet your whistles? Or shall we continue?
Wait. Oh, can I see? Okay, 1 second here.
I've prepared some refreshments for you. Please, help yourself.
That is so cool. So like they I'm guessing this is like this conversation is going to go on for longer, since they tend to want to you know, they give us a break, meaning they're probably saying, okay, this is going to happen for a bit longer now. You're kind of like going to be, because I think they took a lot, they genuinely did, and I truly believe this. I think they took a lot of like the there was a lot of criticism about On4 of people saying that it was too long and the scenes were too long. I never had an issue, because like for me, like I'm stopping no matter what, like because I pace myself. I'm going to pace myself and make sure I enjoy the game. But I can imagine for people playing for like 6 hours straight, a lot of people probably. But then I always felt there was breaks anyway. But then again, I understand what people say when there's like really long scenes of cutscenes. But they definitely are telling us that the scene is going to go on for a bit longer right now. They're telling us right now that the scene is going on for a bit longer. In terms of the supplicants, by the way, just before we go any further, the supplicants we know, as I said, it's us. It's Sunday. We know that Blade is obtaining one, right? We know that we have one off of Sparksy. Who's that? So that's how many? So there's us, Asheville, Blade. We have the one from Sparksy. Sunday, Pearl. So that's 6. So the other 2 would be, one of them is the murderer. And then there's another one that hasn't surfaced yet. Okay. Let's go. Okay, we got it. We got it. Drink it up in one gulp. Let's talk to Welt. Oh, sorry. Pressed the wrong button.
Do you feel nervous in a situation like this? Relax. You'll get used to it.
I think the
soon.
conversation is so interesting. Like, I really do. Like, it's a really interesting conversation.
Where do you think you're going? Our negotiations with Madame Pearl aren't over yet.
So what we got out of this whole conversation, obviously we understand she's now a supplicant. We told her about our plans for Aha. We've now learned her motivations of what she's planning to do as well. She believes that we're not going to win this, but then we also like came back and said like, well, you have to like, you know, work to twice as hard in these games as well at the same time too. The uncertainty around the Herald of Death is creating kind of like another bit of uncertainty of like, could this happen again? How do we prevent it in that way too? And also there is a feeling amongst, well, with Pearl, I guess as well, that she believes that we would be valuable allies. But obviously as well, we want to like maintain kind of a little bit of a distance from the IPC as well at the same time too. It's a super interesting conversation, really interesting conversation. Drink it up in one gulp. Not good.
What the?
Spray me right in the face. This smell is something wrong? I would
This
never
is
make
a
Max feel bad.
specialty from the Cienjo. A precious item
No!
called Long Bean Soda that General Yao Guang gifted me.
Oh my god, I think she was doing a power play.
As an Intellitron, I can't enjoy human beverages. So I've specially saved this for my esteemed
I think
guests.
she was doing a pure power play.
Seems we really do have a special connection.
They're
with these
following us
drinks.
everywhere. They're following us everywhere. Okay, that's fun. That's pretty fun, right? Just a short little break. And if you wanted to break off right now, if I wanted to like say like end a video, even though we're not ending a video, you can end it here. You can also do a photo shoot. Look at this. Look at this. Perfect, 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 perfect. This guy's doing stuff too. I'm sorry, Sapo. I'm sorry.
I was thinking of having Pearl Lux Corp host an expo for the Astral Express.
What?
As for the name, how about Star Rail Fest?
Star Rail Fest, you're gonna do an expo for the Astral Express?
Star Rail Fest? You mean hosting a Fluffy Across the Blue convention?
But see, I think a lot of times they want to, especially the IPC, they want to blur the lines.
Correct, but not entirely. The Fluffy is well known in this world, so it's a good collaboration element.
We know from the IPC company there, the Build Me visitor, that they like blurring the lines in terms of like making people feel like it's like the real and the fake are kind of like similar, so the belief is like 100%.
But what I want is an unprecedented Astral Express exhibition, with the Fluffy being just a small part of it. The real stars of this grand event will be you, the Express crew. You'll be there in person to meet the people of this world.
Kind of nuts. Kind of nuts.
Are you trying to use this exhibition to lure those two unidentified supplicants out of hiding?
Huh? What if they're up to no good? Won't that just make us walking targets?
I don't want us to targets, but at the same time, I'm kind of like, I think that if we can stop this murderer, it's the best thing to do. But I think, you know, from their perspective, it is like interesting that like, you know, it would make sense for us to have these answers here is what I'm saying. Like, hey, what's in for us? But also like, are you going to hand us over for an advantage? It sounds like we're being put out as bait, right? Whereas like, if we did it like as our own idea, it would be kind of us like, you know, just like waiting for like this murderer and see if we can stop him.
What could be more inspiring to the people of a world than standing face to face with heroes of the cosmos? That's an enormous amount of wish power, and the Astral Express is the very source from which this wish power originates.
So, like everything else, yeah, it's just about wish power. Yeah, it's about generating wish power.
Together, we can create a miracle for all to witness in Arcadia devoted to the legends of heroes.
And it's like a miracle without fighting and conflict, you know, which is what she kind of was like alluding to earlier, right? And what Nihilux was also alluding to as
I'll
well.
also get Full Wish TV and other mainstream media outlets involved for promotional cooperation. And in return, wish power will flow to you. Of this, I have no doubt.
I have no doubt either. Like 110%, I have no doubt either. Like this would legitimately, yes, we're drawing out the other two supplicants, but factually so, this constitutes as wish power, and we know for a fact how people would react to this, right?
A wise choice.
We know people will go crazy for this. We know, like we've seen an example with Cinder, right? How he reacted.
Before the Star Rail Fest officially begins, I have one more favor to ask of you all. I'd like the Express crew to pay a visit to Blurry QR Colt, the original author of Fluffy Across the Blue.
Yeah, okay. Such a weird pen name. Yeah, but why is that?
Doesn't Perlux own the rights to the Fluffy?
Since their debut, this author has remained anonymous, never revealing their true identity in public. But if the real-life inspiration behind the story were to pay them a personal visit, it would surely be a great honor, and likely persuade them to attend a signing, stoking the excitement even further.
It's such a IPC thing as well to like see like, you know, this person has stayed private and they've really appreciated their private life and all this stuff too. And the IPC is like, but what if you guys got them to come out of hiding? You know, it's like, I respect them not wanting to show their true identity. You know what I mean? I kind of respect it. Leave to us.
Now that we've reached an agreement, I'll leave it in your capable hands. My secretary will be in touch to keep all parties apprised. By the way, before you leave, please accept this small gift as a memento of our first
Some
collaboration.
Reese's Pieces. Oh. What is this? An Aventurine's chip? Like it's a Stoneheart chip?
I've studied in detail the records of my colleagues' interactions with partners in Penacony.
So
and I
cool.
was particularly inspired by Aventurine's technique
So cool.
of giving small gifts that symbolize good fortune.
I love again this Intellitron studying like Aventurine's actions.
So please, keep this chip with you as a symbol of good fortune for our future cooperation. Take care,
Again,
everyone.
as always, I'm not sitting here going like, oh my god, what a great IPC friend. I'm saying that as a story and as like a writing moment, having the IPC Intellitron be like, I studied what Aventurine did and here, like, use this. It's like so cool. It's such a great idea.
Well, we'll be on our way then.
Studying something and then implementing it themselves. Oh. Asheville.
As your private detective, I must warn you that a grand exhibition of unprecedented scale would make for a perfect opportunity to reenact the blood-stained games.
He's actually very correct, isn't he?
I understand. That's why I have a mission for you.
Oh my god.
Protect the nameless at Star Rail
I never
Fest.
even thought about that because, like, again, like if you're someone who wants, and she's really smart, right? We're not saying we agree morally, but she's very smart, right? Because what happens here, right? If you're a killer who's killing people in grand quantities and you want to copy what happened before, in the Bloodstained games, hearing a bunch of people gather, you could surpass the numbers of the original Herald of Death. Oh my god.
You actually think they would need my protection with their strength? Don't tell me your extrapolations predict even bigger trouble.
That actually is worrying. Isn't that worrying? Right, the fact that, because the Astral Express can protect themselves.
Hidden beneath each extrapolation, tiny signals of unease keep bubbling up to my thought interface. I must be thoroughly prepared for whatever may come.
Okay.
Now that you've taken up the mask, let's talk about payment. What do you want? The same as always? Money?
Straight to the point as well. Yeah, so like the idea that this festival that's gonna be based on roses, which again is a really like fun idea, right? It's a really fun idea to see like in action. But this like festival, the idea is that this is going to be a perfect place to reenact like a mass murder. Let's just be real. It's a perfect place to reenact a mass murder. Is like this giant group of like gathering of people. But what Pearl is saying is like, I want you to do some, Ashfield, not because I'm saying that they can protect themselves, because I'm saying that like I want to be prepared for every possible outcome that can happen. This whole festival is made to lure out the other 2 supplicants, and it's also, again, it's not something we're going to go, oh, that's totally true, and yes, IPC, yes. We have to work with other people that we don't always agree with. We have to work with companies we always don't agree with all the time. With the Astro Express, we have to remain like neutral and also like for the benefit of like everyone. And in this case, it's one of those situations where we get a benefit from this in terms of like admiration. We know this is going to give us admiration, but then also at the same time too, luring out. At first, I was like luring out the murderer would be a good thing, or luring out the other supplicants would be good. But then like it's weird that it didn't cross my mind for a second. I was like, yeah, but that might mean like casualties. That might mean people dying.
Before we talk about payment, let's discuss the Herald of Death. Although the Department of Aberration Defense sealed and destroyed all records of the Bloodstained Games, I still managed to uncover some unusual leads. After the Herald of Death incident, the victims' families collectively received compensation so massive it could fill any gaping wound. So, I figured, maybe we could find some leads by looking into official Plain Arcadia expenditures.
Okay, so that's interesting, okay.
But here's the interesting part. This item was nowhere to be found in that year's public financial report. Care to guess whose books this money went through?
This is so interesting. Who? There was nowhere in the public financial report, but who was it?
It was you, the omnipresent IPC. To be precise, it was the IPC's technology department that paid this astronomical compensation.
Why? Because like he's saying that like there was no like public government 15 years ago that like paid for this compensation, right? There was no public record of the financial report, which would have been public record, right? Instead, it was the IPC's technology department itself? Why?
Why would a lethal incident on some minor frontier planet cause IPC scientists to hemorrhage funding? Don't tell me they're moonlighting as philanthropists on top of their research work.
Such an interesting revelation.
Following the usual human drama tropes, am I supposed to give you a round of applause now? Being able to dig up all this information really shows your connections and capabilities, Detective Ashvale.
Well, answer the question. Answer the question.
In movies, a big shot like you would usually raise a hand right about now, revealing the dark muzzle of a gun.
Oh my god, I love that that's his counter as well with it, because she's like saying, oh, this is like some trope. And he's like, well, if it was, then you'd be doing this. Like, he kind of pushes it back on her a little bit.
I'm afraid you've learned too much.
Yeah.
And bang! That's when the gun goes off. And I, the poor sap who uncovered the truth, am supposed to bite the dust.
Sorry, my hand is on the checkbook and unavailable. Mr. Ashvale.
Oh my god.
Tell me, how many zeros would you like to see on that check for our cooperation?
So she's bypassing this answer here, because her first answer is like following the usual drama tropes. I'm supposed to give you applause. Like, didn't answer why this money was given out. Why would they do this time as well? So obviously like she knows something about it. And now she's like saying, hey buddy, if you want your money, just take your money.
It's not about the money.
This is one of those times. Yes, Ashvale has mentioned this before. You could tell he became more serious when this happened with Costide. You can tell this is more serious.
Indeed, money isn't the issue. 100 million
And she's pushing
credits.
through it. She's pushing through it.
Are you trying to buy me off like some poor victim's family?
This is so interesting.
Tell me, why did the technology department pay to sweep this under the rug?
There's deeper conspiracies amongst this murder as well. There's deeper conspiracies.
300
Oh
million.
my god.
I know you've always needed money. For cryosleep, supporting the families of fallen comrades, and for treating those who survived. Isn't this exactly what strategic investment is about? Putting money in the hands of those who need it?
This is so interesting to me. This is so interesting to me. Because it's not like a regular push through, right? Because usually it's like you'd have a character like who was higher up in a higher position, like say Kokolia, she'd just be like, F off, get out of here, right? Genuine would say it's none of your business. Get out of here, right? Not that Genuine's corrupt. I'm saying in terms of leadership strategies, right? This is what would probably happen, you know? The family would just probably like try and kill you on the spot. The family's like, okay, get him. Kick him in the head. You know, they would try to do it right away. I feel like in Euphorius, Lygus would go on like a long speech of like, you know, so you figured it out. Let me tell you about the time this all started. But to understand it, we first have to talk about how they found the first ever chicken egg and used it to fry it. And it's like you'd be there forever. In this case, Pearl just keeps saying like, hey, more money, more money, more money, more money. You need money, right? You need money.
I'm not your lackey, Intellatron.
Oh my god!
Tell me the answer.
Asheville!
500
Oh
million?
my god. Oh my
Pretend
god.
there's a glitch in my calculation process and make it a cool billion for you. Money or answer? Your call.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
I want the answer.
Oh my god, you're so sick. And that's like, this drives home such an important thing, right? Because we were introduced to Asheville as someone who who tried to trick two people to get money off both sides. Dirty money and the money from Pearl for turning in a Stellar Hunter. He tried to do two things to get, and we know they establish it. He is all about the money, right? He's all about the money, right? So when a character like this shows us in front of a cool billion and says to Pearl, it's not about the money, I want the answer. It sets the tone for how his character can get more serious and how his character has changed and how the situation has changed him. Look at her eyes.
An unexpected choice. It defies my usual understanding of your decision tree. Note, I say this without sarcasm or ridicule.
This is why Honkai Star was so good, by the way. As I said, like the way they showed it, we know how they established his character, but the way they originally established his character was like as a joke moment. It's a joke moment where Asheville's like, let's take the dirty money and let's turn Silverwolf in. And it was like a whole joke, right? It was a whole joke about like Asheville's like, you know, got tricked by Silverwolf and like, you know, and tried to turn both of them in. It was a joke about how he's like this comedy act kind of thing, right? But they showed hints that he can be a good detective. Like, the fact that they call back on a joke and use a joke that made us all laugh, that made us go, oh my god, Asheville's so kooky and crazy, right? In a fun way. We look back in the now and go, that was a setup as well. While being a joke that shows his character is a setup for this moment. It's a setup to show that he is all about the money at that moment. And now, look where he is.
The answer is, I don't know much. Hard to believe, perhaps. But as CEO, my power isn't unlimited. Besides...
So you actually don't know anything?
The Herald of Death affair lies 15 years in the past.
Hot take. 22 kids getting murdered. 15 years isn't enough to make it even nearly a closed wound. You say 15 years as if that's a long time. For 22, and I'm sorry, 150 people injured and murdered, and 22, like, is it 22 or 21 number was it? Whatever number of kids being absolutely destroyed and killed. Like, 15 years isn't enough for it to be like, for you to be able to say the line, oh, that was in the past. You know, it's not enough. It's not nearly enough.
This world
never will
is
be
like
enough.
an unfinished game of chess that's been dragging on for years. The hidden moves laid by the previous player keep becoming my challenges. Even today...
And this happens with any leadership, honestly. So, if she really doesn't know anything, then that makes this conversation even more interesting. The fact that she was like, take the money. Take the money. Take it. It's almost like she was saying, like, I do not know anything. Stop following this lead. Take the money. But then again, you never know, right?
But since you've invited me to finish this game together, sharing intel is a must.
He's so serious about this.
Reasonable. I'll share
There
what
we
I
go.
know about the answer.
There we go.
Marcus Antali, the Herald of Death. Last member of the Intelligentsia Guild,
Whoa.
School of Evolutionary Perfection.
Whoa.
5 years ago, his identity was confirmed, and he was executed. Note, executed in every sense of the word.
Holy freaking hell, just like that. So here's the thing, by the way. Her being like, I don't know much, she knew a lot, actually. So scratch me. I was wrong about the whole thing of like, oh, maybe she was trying to get him to take the money. But like, no, like legit, this is a lot of information. His name was Marcus Antali. The last member of the School of Evolutionary Perfection, whatever that is. And he was executed. Oh my god.
Miss Yabali, head of the technology department. took possession of his belongings. And even I don't have the clearance.
We talked to Ms. Yobley, so we have a
those
name on who
records.
the Herald of Death was. Let's just remember this. Marcus Antali. Marcus Antali. In fact, let's just screenshot it. That's why they paid the hush money.
No wonder. So, that guy was practically IPC personnel, give or take. That also explains why the technology department shelled out the compensation. Yet, the method behind this latest killing is identical to the one from years ago.
Yes.
If the Herald of Death is truly dead.
A serial killer coming back from the dead is the least of our worries. Even if a serial killer does come back to life, he's still just a serial killer who's been shut out of the Ionic game.
So, a serial killer back to life and dead is least of worries. Even if a serial killer doesn't come back to life, he's still just a serial killer who's been shut out of the Ionic game. Right, she's talking about if Marcus comes back, but this guy is. They said he was a supplicant, right? Maybe I'm misremembering and thinking that he was a supplicant, but it seems like he is a supplicant, right? In the main, I thought they mentioned he was a supplicant, the murderer. But yeah, what he said here as well is that like they tried to pay compensation for this as well, which again, it makes sense, not in a good way. I want to make this clear. Morally, no. I'm talking about in terms of like a corporation being like, because again, you might be like, well, no, but like they could just say it was just one dude. That never works. That never works. That never works. If all of a sudden like a high-ranking employee in Google, who was like one of the head like people at Google, you found out that he was like conducting a mass like, slaughter and doing it on like Google's time, right? Google would do everything in their power to cover that up. You know what I mean? They would. They do everything in their power to cover that up. I probably shouldn't use that, since I'm technically like, getting money from them every month. I probably shouldn't be using them as an example. All of a sudden the video gets cut off. But you know what I mean? Like it's not moral, but it makes sense why they'd be covering it up. Yeah.
What's more concerning is this. Someone wants to exploit the legacy of the Herald of Death. Miss Yobley took away everything that man left behind.
What a great line.
Except for the fear he instilled in the
What
people
a
of
great
this world.
line. What a great line. Because you can take the physical aspects of a killer out of it. You can put the killer to death. You can execute the killer. You cannot change the feeling that it left behind.
And during the Phantasmoon Games, not only can miracles trigger wish power, but fear too. Based on my extrapolations, the appearance of this new Herald of Death might mark the beginning of the festival spiraling out of control.
That's so, because again, the idea that fear can give the wish power as well, and it's like, I guess, human emotions too. Like already, if the word spreads about this Herald of Death, it's like, yeah, it's like people are the old wound opens up.
No wonder you're in such a hurry to end the game.
Stop him before he gets so powerful and incites more fear into this world as well. That's so cool.
Mr.
Not cool, but you know what I mean, in terms of a story.
I've always respected you. But right now, I need to rely on your strength even more.
I feel like I have to do that lower. I'm like, I mean, the story's cool, but you guys know when I say it's cool, I don't mean like, oh my god, this mass murderer is deadly. It's like, no, I mean like, it's cool in terms of like, the story, what they're doing here as well.
Respect. When I was younger, what I really wanted was to make the IPC fear me.
Yeah?
Deal, Madam Pearl. But I will require one more form of compensation. Whoever this new Herald of Death is, I must deliver justice with my own hands.
Oh my god, Asheville.
This time, there won't be any lengthy interrogation.
It's personal.
By the authority vested in me as CEO of Plain Arcadia, I pardon all crimes committed in the course of your revenge.
Oh my god.
Go ahead and do what you must.
Oh my
Mr.
god, she says it was fun. She just literally gave him a future pardon to again, here's the thing, right? Obviously killing like, some mass killer, like obviously it's not gonna be like, oh my god, no, what, like, why would you do this? But I'm saying like, She's just fully just saying to Asheville, like, yeah, do what you must. Because she doesn't care about the consequences here as long as like these games end without the fear of this killer spreading too much. Holy hell, what a scene. Oh my god, we're playing as Asheville? Somewhere, sometime later, somewhere in Dunamon City.
My friend, I don't blame you, but I'm done being a breathing dead weight. So do me a favor and pay me back for that drink with this bullet.
What the hell are we looking at here? First of all, great design, cool seeing his hair with the hat. He looks incredible. But like, we're about to see some stuff from Asheville's past as well. And pay me for the drink with the bullet, like, while I kill him?
Just do it, you coward!
What the?
Let me die as a Galaxy Ranger before I turn into a monster of abundance.
Abundance, what the hell are we doing here?
Bana, shoot me. I beg you.
Bana.
My Skybo above. May you have a pleasant dream.
Bana, like were different people getting infected with different things here or something?
Not knowing who you are, not knowing why you exist here, that isn't life.
Oh, we're with Kuchiba as well.
In ancient times, humanity's daily goal was to obtain 2,000 calories of food. Humans back then knew they were just one member of the animal kingdom. They understood why they migrated, hunted, gathered.
Okay, Kuchiba?
But now, in an era where you can get food delivered to your door with just a tap of your finger, effortlessly achieving that 2,000 calorie goal, humanity has lost its way.
Oh, I didn't expect Kuchiba to be one of these people, you know? People got it too easy now. Back in my day, we starved and we died happily. Back in my day, before you could deliver to your doorstep, you had to go out and beat up 3 people in a parking lot to get a slice of ham.
Tell me, will the Phantasmoon games bring a new direction to this world, Asheville?
Kojima's like, literally like, oh, I hate that people can eat now. I know people are gonna say no, Calvin hates like the overconsumption or maybe like a delivery and stuff like that as well, but it's like also like that also like delivery has helped a lot of people as well. You know, it has. The convenience of food has also has helped a lot of people. It has. I understand that like she might be talking about like the idea that like now that people have stuff delivered to the door and they have like a lot of convenience, it means that they can like. Actually, no, I'm not gonna say you're like trying to like maybe find, because again I understand that like she's talking about delivery and stuff like too, but still it's like humanity lost their way. I don't know, man. It's like. Those were objective. No, I'm gonna say it. Those times when people had to hunt and gather, those times that people didn't know when they when they had to like hunt for their own food, where they had to like be beholden to like a king to not take as much food from them in terms of taxes. Like those were objectively like horrible times for like everyone apart from like royalty and like lords and stuff, and like I don't know. Objectively horrible times. Not that nowadays people like are well off, you know what I mean? I'm just saying those times were objectively horrible. Sorry, we'll move on now.
What's wrong with getting food with just the tap of your finger? Don't tell me you
Asheville.
go back to the days when everyone was starving at the mercy of the harvest.
What a man.
2,000 calories are pointless, but just for survival. It's the goals beyond 2,000 calories that define humanity. And the Phantasmoon games holds up a mirror to humanity, allowing them to see their truest selves.
Okay, first of all, they put my name in the game. Thank you, Cal. But 2,000 calories are pointless just for survival. It's the goals beyond 2,000 calories that define humanity. So he's saying it's not about the whole thing of like it's yes, this is survival. Eating food is like is something we need to do, but it's what we do like after that. And I think he's probably saying that like the fact that food is more convenience give us more time to do like other stuff as well. Look at this dude in the background. Let the lady walk up the stairs, dude. Stop crowding her. Yeah, there's now that people have more convenience, they have more time to do other things, right? In terms of like discovering the true meaning of like their own humanity as well.
I'm just a detective.
Ask me such a profound question again next time, and I'll charge extra.
I do think Ashville's correct though, right? It's like, whilst yes, you know, delivery can be so expensive, and nowadays like it's not even like worth it sometimes. Like obviously if you have someone who like can't leave, you know, like can't like, you know, has a maybe something that is different about them that means that they find it harder to go out and get food. Yes, delivery is a great option, but obviously it's more expensive in terms of delivering like meals every day, in terms of like a fast food or like a restaurant delivering food and stuff like that as well. Of course it is. But I do think that like, you know, there's aspects of like convenience food that has damaged the world, of course. But I also think that like what Ashville is kind of saying here, which is like, hey, you know, it's beyond that. It's beyond, you know, finding our food and finding what we have to eat every single day. Like that's you know, that's what humanity truly is. Yeah.
My apologies. I just heard you joined the Phantasmoon Games and couldn't resist asking for your thoughts.
Okay.
You've met Madame Pearl, huh?
She dumped this hot potato of the Herald of Death on me.
It's a huge deal.
On us. Judging by your expression, it seems less like a hot potato and more like a sweet
But
fruit.
she was noticing that he wants to take on this. He wants it to be the person that like, you know, figures this out.
Because I have a lead now. I think the key lies in the word copycat.
Yeah?
To prevent copycats, you kept the Herald of Death's modus operandi from 15 years ago under wraps. Which means...
There's only a few people who could reproduce this killing method with such precision. The investigators from the Security Bureau and the Department of Aberration Defense at the time. And those directly involved in the Herald of Death case.
Wait, what? So this is... So you're saying like, yeah, to prevent copycats, you kept Herald of Death's mode around. So it's like, yes, because Pearl said this, because no one knew exactly what the exact reason. They had all this. They hid it, right? They brushed it under the rug. They paid people off. So the only people who could like recreate the murders themselves were like this list of people. What the hell?
Detective Kuchiba, I've heard that you've devoted considerable time to researching the crimes from the Phantasmoon.
Is that an accusation?
So, I'm the prime suspect now. Is that it?
Just a bit of minor deduction. After all, murderers always love to return to the scene of the crime. Isn't it coincidental that you happen to be standing right before my eyes?
Oh my god. I know he's probably joking here as well, but like I think he's, you know, I want to screenshot this as well, just by having like this this line as well, having all the different suspects.
That's not deduction. It's a conjecture at best. As for investigating those two categories of suspects, we've been doing that for a long time already.
Wait, really? So Kuchiba's already been looking into the people who are from the Security Bureau and the Aberration Defense and the people involved in the case itself.
It's been 15 years. The relevant people and the victims' families have all gone their separate ways. Tracking them down now won't be easy.
Yeah. After losing their loved ones in such a cruel way, their hearts were shattered. Many couldn't bear to stay in Dovebrook District and chose to move away.
Makes sense. Like, genuinely makes sense. And of course, they got a payment, and then they left. I understand it's like, people might be like, oh, they can't believe they took a payment to cover it up as well, like this too. Like, I'm just saying, any person who like has gone through something traumatic, like people who like judge them for taking money, it's like, man, like, you know, it's legitimately going to make like their horrible journey ahead at least like with one less worry. You know what I mean? One less thing to worry about, which is like, how am I going to pay for my next meal? How am I going to go out to work every day and like think about this stuff? I'm sorry, but like, you can't look down on someone for taking a payment like this too, and just choosing to move away just makes perfect sense as well. It really does. So like, it's harder to like investigate this stuff because people like the victims' families are already gone.
I remember seeing that in the case files you sent me. They even formed a mutual aid society for the victims.
Yeah?
I wonder, after all these years, have they managed to heal the wounds in their hearts?
Yeah, I was gonna say, so they got hush money and they got mutual aid stuff. And here's the thing, I want to make this clear as well. Like, you know, hush, like I sounded so harsh earlier when I was saying that, like, oh, like, you know, you can't judge people like that. You can actually judge people if, like, you found out, like, a family took hush money from the IPC and, you know, say the death of their brother or something, and they took hush money for it, so it will be covered up. You can. I want to make that clear. I forgot about that aspect. Like, I was just saying, like, you know, giving people money for their, you know, for, like, as compensation is, like, different, but this is also, like, kind of hush money. So yeah, you can, if you wanted to say like, oh, kind of like, you know, they covered up, they were now complicit in the cover up of the murder of their family member. That's an accurate assessment to make as well.
Maybe they have. After all, they go by a new name now. The Research Society of Happy Smiles.
Ashville, what? Ashville, what?
Ah, you mean that charity with the slogan, Healing Smiles, Healing Arcadia?
Wait, is he saying that the Research Society of Happy Smiles is the families? No way. Or is he saying that the people who set up the mutual aid fund is?
Before he died, Kostad mentioned that group to me. He said quite a few young people in the gang left without looking back, just to join them.
What the hell?
So I thought, maybe we should start by looking into their rivals.
The Research Society of Happy Smiles, huh? A charity that helps people escape their pain and find happiness, offering free counseling, medical care, all of that good stuff.
So so they're like, they are kind of like a mutual aid fund themselves, right?
Sounds like they've turned over a new leaf. How could you call them rivals to the underworld?
I dug a little deeper into them and found something interesting.
You mean your monkey dug up something interesting, right?
I'm so interested to see exactly where this is going to go.
Okay. Mr. N dug up something interesting. Have you heard the name of the sponsor behind the Research Society? Her name's Fullwish.
Fullwish, okay.
That name rings a bell. Wait, isn't she the boss of Fullwish TV? I think she was one of the survivors of Graphia Academy too.
So there's a lot of connections here as well. So what we're learning here is that what I'm guessing here is that it seems like the family of victims became this like Research Society of Happy Smiles, right? They became a rival to the underworld in some ways. Maybe it's because like a lot of people from the underworld left to go join the society as well. Then also there is a sponsor named Fullwish, and it's they are like the boss of Fullwish TV as well.
This is getting a little too coincidental. Just like every case you've accidentally cracked before. Mr. Ashvale, should I compliment your keen instincts or your incredible luck?
I mean, maybe a bit of both, but like still, like that's a crazy find. He like figured this out kind of like by Pearl's words in a way too, like figuring like who would have known this, who would have actually like been privy to the information that happened here. How could you recreate something if you didn't know exactly what happened? There was a lot of hush money spent around here as well. And figuring out about the Research of Happy Smiles, the Institute of Happy Smiles, I never would have thought that. I knew they were going to come back at some stage, but that means Ashville was investigating those guys like, you know, for a big reason when we saw him last time. So interesting.
Luck's a part of a detective's toolkit too.
He's great. He's so great.
Anyway, whether Fullwish is guilty or not, we won't know until we look into her. That's why I asked you here.
Wait, what's this? The Research Society of Happy Smiles, I said Institute, Mutual Aid Seminar Notice. Dovebrook District, New Life Project, Public Recruitment and Mental Healing Seminar at the Research Society of Happy Smiles. Confused about the future? Don't know where to turn? Is the burden of life suffocating you? You crash into your bed after another grueling day, drifting aimlessly through the tide of memes of orc talk. Orc talk? Is that like TikTok? Feeds you, but when the screen fades to black, the reflection staring back reveals the truth. You aren't smiled. That is brutal. That is brutal. You can't quite recall when it began, but you seem to have lost your reason to smile. You try to force the corners of your mouth up when facing the mirror, but all you feel is a sense of alienation. When was the last time you really smiled? Worry not, the Research Society of Happy Smiles is here for you. Amidst the endless violence and spates of grisly crimes plaguing Dovebrook District, The Research Society of Happy Smiles is hosting a week-long mental illness wellness seminar. We are here to ease your burdens, answer your prayers, and help us all weather the storm together. Again, it's cult-like talk. It sounds beautiful, but like at the same time too, like it's trying to like break you down. It feels very cultish to me, right? Am I wrong in thinking about this? It kind of feels kind of like, you know, while like on the surface there's nothing wrong with this, but you can definitely see how this could turn into kind of like something a bit more cultish, right? Because that's what you do. You prey on people who are like down in the luck. People who are going through something, and you sell them an idea of them feeling better. A lot of people who are going through actually immense pain and trauma will, you know, understandably take a route that feels easier at the time. Someone else carrying your burdens for you, someone else telling you that you will get better with this, and also being a part of something, whether it's good or bad, sometimes will like ease a lot of like the thought process you have, like of just being alone thinking all this stuff as well. It's like if you, it's the same thing of like, you know, when people say you should get a hobby or something. I know it sounds such like an easy thing to say, but like, and it's hard to do. It's easy to say, hard to do when someone goes, "Oh, so you're depressed? Get a hobby." It's like, oh, F off, dude. That's not how that works. You have to get the motivation to do this all, and all this stuff as well. Even though it genuinely would help, it's like, it's hard to get to that point. So someone else taking that burden of like even having to think about what you're going to do and just being like, hey, join this stuff here, it alleviates even the thought process and the effort, right, of having to go to like, oh, let's do this, you know? And you feel like you're a part of something. Once the star of the smash hit, please, Happy and people's beloved daughter, now the president of the Research Society of Happy Smiles and director of Full Wish TV, Full Wish, will also make a special appearance to get soon. Together we'll banish gloom and rediscover the joy we've been missing. No appointment needed, just walk in. The Research Society of Happy Smiles is always right by your side.
Dovebrook District New Life Project. Public Recruitment and Mental Healing Seminar at the Research Society of Happy Smiles. And she's the speaker? Holding a seminar at a place meant to bury past trauma. The very site of 2 bloody incidents. Miss Fullwish's audacity is certainly impossible to ignore.
It's, yeah, very, very, very forward.
So what are we waiting for? It's time to drag Dovebrook District's old skeletons out into the light.
Such a sick line, Asheville.
Are you talking? Yeah, I'm almost there.
So, first of all, we will switch to Asheville.
More happiness.
Oh, God. So what we learned from that conversation is that we learned that, first of all, I love the crowded nature of this whole place. It makes it feel very real. So what we learned about this already, right, is that the possible people who could actually have done this, right? Let's take off Adventurine. I'm joking. Again, this is, I hope it makes sense. Like, Sampo is like growing on me as well. I make jokes about not liking him, but like legitimately he grows on me every single time, and like I'm actually grown to really, really like his character as well. So I just keep the jokes going of like Sampo's the one who gets taken off the team a lot. He's growing on me more and more. But so what we've learned is that because there was hush money paid to the families, and it was because of what happened with Marcus and Tali, they brushed everything under the rug. So the only possible people that could know the motivations and the modus operandi of what the MO of what happened with not the the Woogie song, but like the MO of like the MO of the killer to be recreated, you would have to know exactly what they did and how exactly they did it and all those things as well. The only people that would know that is what he said here, which is the Security Bureau and the Department of Operation Defense and people involved directly in the Herald of Death case. So there has to be a specific person involved directly in that case. We also learned that there is that the families who like moved away, quote unquote, seem to have like created a mutual aid fund called the Society of the Secret Society. Sorry, the Smiles Society, right? The Smiles Society, and they've created this to as what it seems to be on the surface is a way to like heal people's wounds, benefit each other, and like get through the storm together. But since, as Kojima pointed out, it is being held by this big celebrity, it is probably going to be very brazen and bring up old wounds. Is it actually something that's being helpful, or is it something much deeper and darker going on here as well? Asheville did a very good job on uncovering all this stuff, and I love the way he uncovered it just from like the it's almost like a lack of knowledge leading to knowledge, if that makes sense.
This place is buzzing. Are they all here waiting for Full Wish to grant their wishes?
Wow, that's why it's so packed. But you know what I'm saying? When the lack of knowledge leads to knowledge, it's like if 3 doors are in front of you and 1 door is and 2 doors are locked, you know the only door you can go through is the middle door, right? With Ashvale, he realized that there's no one who like knows anything about this because it was all pushed under the rug. But that actually helps him out a lot more, because knowing that this was something that was pushed under the rug now leads to the only possible answer, which is like, oh, then someone who knows about this must have been involved. It's the Rain Code, you know, Rain Code the game, which is a fantastic game. The way that game always would say, like, you know, not figuring out something is wrong is almost as good as figuring out something is good. And Ashvale figuring out that like there's no possible way anyone else could have known this other than those people. While at the first it seems like, okay, it seems like a dead end of like who could have done this and who could have known about this and who could have recreated this. It's like, oh no, we narrowed it down to the people that like were in on the hush hush, you know?
A rich person like Full Wish can make most people's wildest dreams come true with the snap of her fingers. Yeah. I'm less curious about who she'll help than what she wants for herself.
Yeah, that's definitely the important question.
If money could really accomplish everything, the IPC wouldn't be eyeing this world. My bet, I'm sure that Full Wish wishes the tragedy 15 years ago never happened.
The IPC wouldn't be eyeing this world? Oh, so it's like the IPC wouldn't... If money really could accomplish everything, the IPC wouldn't be eyeing this world, my bet? Oh, she's saying that like Full Wish could have like... taken over themselves? That could have taken the world themselves?
Erasing history. Can the laughter really pull it off?
In past victory records, there have been countless and often bizarre instances where the victor used the Elation's authority to change reality.
Okay, so I'm going to keep reading this as well. So he's saying that, like, Full Wish can make people's wildest dreams come true. Snap her fingers. I'm less curious. We're talking about what she wants for herself. If money could accomplish anything, the IBC wouldn't be eyeing this world because Full Wish would be able to stop them from eyeing this world. Can the laughter really pull it off? Oh, wait. So, it's like literal. So Full Wish wishes that the tragedy never happens so the IPC would never get involved? Is that it?
You have to understand. The Phantasmoon Games isn't just some wish-granting lamp. What makes it irresistible is that it turns the one who wishes into the genie.
Because they can do all the wishes they want, right?
That's quite alluring. Have you heard about the noblest worm Aha made godlike? It became the happiest creature in existence. Happy enough to burst apart, leaving no intact body behind.
Ooh.
Your knowledge of these unofficial records is enough to rival ours. Since you see things so clearly, Mr. Ashvale, why sign up for the games?
Miss Kuchiba, is that a rhetorical question? Or are you fishing for a confession?
Fishing. Don't be afraid. Now that you're a supplicant, public officials like me no longer have any authority over you. I'm guessing what you want goes beyond a straightforward act of revenge, beyond a vigilante execution carried out in public. If you were only out to avenge friends, with or without the Phantasmoon Games, someone like you would toss laws and decorum aside and do what needs to be done. So tell me, Mr. Ashvale, what do you actually hope to get from the games?
I love that everyone's asking these questions like as well, because it's because while there is you know, vague answers to what everyone could say, you could answer everything with like, I just want to get, you know, this is an amazing power, but like I love the individual answers.
Consider it a mystery. If I make it to the end, you'll know the answer before Aha does.
Being very mysterious with this then.
Well then, I'd be honored. Just don't let your wish ruin our lives here.
Please don't mess with us. Please don't F things up.
Daily life here fits like a tailored prison uniform. Wear it too long and you forget what your bones should feel like. Ugh. It's time to break free. Look at these prisoners of routine before us. Foolish hasn't shown up yet. Let's talk with the members of the Research Society. Maybe we can coax something useful out of them.
Sure. Yeah, this is all, I love these conversations we're having with Ashfield and all the, and again, figuring out what people want. And he's saying he's going to keep it close to his chest fully. Obviously, like it is, as Kuchiba rightly points out, like, you know, you could just get revenge. You don't really need the Phantasm games. Oh my god, that train. To get revenge. Obviously, it's easier now because obviously he has like kind of immunity. That's so cool up there as well, isn't it? But yeah, I love hearing about the individual motivations as well. But the idea of Full Wish maybe not wanting the murders to happen, which again, that seems like a noble thing to do. But like, it's not just that. It's possibly that they think she could want to like erase them from memory. Maybe that's just a suggestion on their part. Try to communicate the interesting word.
Into another chat with the boss today. Never thought he'd care about me this much. Everyone is smiling at me. The office feels downright cheerful. These days, I go home, change my baby boy's diaper, help my daughter with her homework, prepare tomorrow's lunch, and clean up the house. It's hard to describe how satisfying that feels. When Emma left me, she must have left the kids to me for my own happiness.
This is really weird. The boss cares about him. He's like saying, like, everything seems like it's... Everything seems like it's tilted to like make him believe that everything's really good. Like the idea of like, my wife left me and left the kids. She must have done that for me. My boss had a chat with me. He cares, you know?
When I look back, I realize I was someone who had it good. And I never understood how lucky I was.
Perspective changes can be good, but if you're just lying to yourself, that's not always a good thing.
Right? All thanks to Miss Foolish. Yesterday, during my tumor removal, the anesthesia wore off halfway through. I squinted and watched the doctors pull all kinds of things out of my stomach.
Wait.
There was this lump still twitching when they cut it out.
How are we gonna make this a good thing?
I used to be too weak to even get out of bed. But after the society's treatment, I am almost ready to walk out of the hospital.
Wait, like she's framing this as like, oh, well, how is this a good thing? She's saying with such cheerful nature. That's a brutal thing to happen to you. That should not happen. That's so bad.
Isn't that amazing? Oh, I kind of want to see someone slice me open too.
Oh my god.
It should be fun.
Somebody stop every one of these people, please.
Hey, did you two hear about the Sinwish Syndicate?
You've come to the right person. My neighbor got a visit from their debt collectors. You should have heard the racket.
What the hell? It's so so cheerful the way they're saying it.
I saw the news too. Those parasites who ruined the peace, who kept people from being happy. Gone. Wiped clean.
Oh my god.
Oh, praise Allah.
Again, that's just the brutal nature of this too. The idea, like, again, everything is framed as something that's beautiful, right? The reality is the Sinwish did cause pain for people. It did, factually so. And again, you're not gonna, like, if people are hurt by them, I'm never gonna be sitting here being like, you know, oh, you want them gone? Like, that's terrible. But like, you know, it just feels, the way it's framed is people being like, oh my god, like the slaughter of these people was just so beautiful, you know?
Wait, they extorted you too?
Something like that. Still owed their underboss tens of thousands of credits.
Well, that cost died?
So your debt's wiped clean.
Jesus, dude.
Oh, must feel pretty great.
Their voices are so warped as well. Like when they're talking to us, like, oh, wiped clean. Like it's not, like, not even real people, and he's not even a real person. He's not even like a real person. Jesus Christ, man. What the hell? So this is feels very cultish, right? This does feel very cultish. What are our moves like, by the way? Yeah. Get the old people.
to trick me?
What the frick was that? Ashvale, are you a demon? Well, what is that?
Oh, we meet again. Hey, Lady Megatron. How have you been?
Good. Since I joined the Research Society, I've made so many new friends. In the past, I struggled with mobility. I always had to work 3 or 4 times harder than the other Mechatrons, just to keep up.
Okay.
A lot of Imagine think factory-made types like me don't count as their own. And humans look at us and see soulless machines. If every sentient being has a home, then even the scrapyard is closed to me. I'm not even considered recyclable waste. But here, in the society, no one cares what I am or what I can do. They just see me as a normal person.
Seems to be, it's, as we said, taking people who are incredibly down on their luck and making everything seem like it's fine and dandy like sugar and candy.
Congrats. You found your home.
Aha said the same. They and everyone here are my family.
Aha said this?
Aha talks to you.
Because you saw people trying to talk to Aha there before as well, right?
Of course. You mean you can't hear them? Guess you're not happy enough
This is
yet.
cultish talk. It's official. This is so official.
Don't worry. Once you join the society, you will. No pain, no tears, just pure joy. The society makes everyone happy.
Jesus Christ. It's so scary. This type of stuff is so scary. Because again, they just seem plastic. They don't seem like real. They seem fake. They don't seem like real people.
Looks like it's about time. If the star of the show doesn't show up soon, the crowd's gonna burst with
So
anticipation.
this is gonna be Full Wish that's gonna show up now as well. I'm actually very interested to see, like, you know, who they are and what they sound like, you know, because again, like, if they're this big, powerful, rich person who's like inspired all these people through like their this cult, I'm definitely curious.
Everyone, please make some room for Miss Fullwish.
Look at that big googly eyeball on top of there. Oh, Miss Fullwish?
By the Master of Elation, may they bless all souls and grant them smiles. Are you all happy today?
Interesting, because I thought it was gonna be like maybe like a banner character maybe, but actually what it is, like, it's a very well designed NPC character. But if you look at it, she's stylish, she's like put together, right? She has like, you know, everything's like, you know, fancy, and there's like flowers on her outfit as well, right? She has this like demeanor even when she's talking, even though like we get, you know, any ordinary person would see someone talking like this and go like, oh, you're very fake, right? But from the perspective of these people, this is just a very pleasant, you know, almost like, you know, authoritative while being comforting, right? You know, like, are you all happy? You know, it's very, very instantly just like, okay, I get what they're doing with the design here.
Very happy.
Oh God.
Thank you for your smiles. They're like lamps in the dark. So precious. But before we celebrate the elation, let me share a memory drenched in tears. It once dragged me into the abyss. Yet, it also taught me what the elation really means.
What story is she gonna tell here?
As you all know,
This bloodstained
15
games.
years ago, during the Phantom Moon Games, the shadow cast by the Herald of Death swallowed this place whole.
Again, she dropped her voice to being like much heavier after, like, you know, giving this very gentle introduction.
That day, I lost my parents, my classmates, and the others. The morning greetings, the little daily chatter, all went silent under that crimson
You could say,
dusk.
oh, Calvin, you're probably falling for this if it is something that's like a trick or something, whatever. But like also at the same time too, it's like there could be a possibility that she did lose classmates in this, right, as well. And we have to like see exactly where like, you know, where the truth lies between this. But like, it makes people would lose their, you know, people back then. Of course they would.
After that, for a very, very long time.
The heaviness in her voice here, man.
All that remained of my world. A door shut tight. A room steeped in silence. And a wound in my heart that would never heal.
And again, the reason I'm saying is like a lot of times with cultish behavior and people who want to manipulate other people, they also might use like heavy emotional stuff, you know, to relate to people. And again, that's why I hope like it doesn't ruin the moment, but I'm sitting here being like, yes, she could have lost people in her life. Yes, she could genuinely be upset, but I think it's also important, like, she's already, it could be manipulation as well.
Just
it's working.
The words, Herald of Death, made me shake uncontrollably. I even once thought the only escape was to follow the dead and leave with them.
Saying she was probably close to ending her own life as well here.
Back then, I was just an empty shell. Breathing, beating, but lifeless inside. And just as my soul was about to fade away, an old lady from the Mutual Aid Society knocked on my door. She didn't offer empty words of comfort. She just looked me in the eyes and asked, "Child, would you try stepping outside this door? Out there are many people broken by pain, just like you. But together, we can start picking up the pieces, one
And
by
again, you
one."
can see how manipulative this can be, right? And that's why I don't want to sit here and just because I said she could have lost someone, but I also want to reserve judgment by saying that like this is also like manipulation 101 by saying like, hey, like I've gone through horrible stuff too, and I was helped by this person from this society. We can do this together, right? Again, it's still taking people who are vulnerable and preying on their vulnerabilities and using that to create like a opening for them to come to your arms, right?
She smiled at me. A warm, gentle smile. And in that smile, I felt the master of elation grant me a reason to live.
Yeah, it's all this language. I reserve the judgment because again, this is so, it's a cult. It's a cult. It's clearly a cult, right? Like saying that someone else has to give you grants you a reason to live.
At the Mutual Aid Society, I saw countless souls scarred by fate. Some bore wounds beyond healing, and some had lost their loved ones. Each of us bore a different wound, but every wound cut deep. And yet, what truly moved me wasn't the pain. It was how, beneath those scars, they still reached out to one another, offering a smile to a child who'd stopped crying, lending a guiding hand to someone lost.
It's so interesting because these individual words, right, all together, these individual sentences, like, can be beautiful by themselves, right? But instead of feeling like, oh, that's lovely, I feel sick. I don't feel, like, good.
They taught me something precious. Pain can destroy a person, but the wish to bring elation to others can spark the fire of rebirth. That was when Aha's voice echoed again in the silence of my heart.
I feel like I'm standing in the crowd right now just being like, y'all believe him? Y'all listen to this?
The smiles passed from one another through mutual aid is Aha's most precious blessing. It does not belong only in the small room of a support group. It yearns to illuminate hearts lost in darkness.
Again, support groups aren't a bad thing inherently, like, and that's not the problem here. Like I said, on individual levels, like some sentences here, moments here, reframing, like, you know, reframing perspective on life can be so good for you, right? Finding a hobby in life, finding friends, finding groups to be with, right? They can be really lovely things for when you're going through horrible times, right? Going to the local cooking classes so you can, like, you know, make friends there and like, do some cooking and find a new hobby. Fantastic, right? But like it's like all of it together, a couple together. Like I don't feel inspired by this. I feel icky listening to her talk.
Each time we share a true smile, it's as if we hear Aha's voice. And when that voice rings out, all suffering fades, all pain is healed. And everyone knows what true happiness feels like. That's why the Research Society of Happy Smiles was founded. I will share this divine smile with all of you.
It's so like, I just feel icky. I just feel icky.
Everyone, I have questions for you. When was the last time you truly smiled? How long has it been since you felt happy from the bottom of your heart?
Again, bringing up the idea as well. Again, it calls on their trauma, it calls on their pain, and it's telling them like how like when, you know, it's trying to remind them of like when they were happy, so they can want to feel that way again.
Minato, do you ever feel like your days are looping endlessly, like an old silent film, repeating until it suffocates you?
Jesus.
And when you realize that loop might never end, does despair flood in like the tide?
What's so nuts about this too is like real support groups won't do this stuff, right? They won't be like, does life suck, huh, Minato? Minato, does life sucks, huh? You know, really suck. They'll try like reframing and supporting through and letting you talk to the pain, but trying to find new avenues to maybe like get through that pain. And like this is trying to dig them deeper into the pain, so they feel like they have to crawl out of it even more, right? Like imagine like you're in a support group. All right, come on, you can speak, Cindy. It's like, okay, yeah, I don't really know where to start. I'll start as the leader of this group. Cindy, life sucks, huh? And you suck. You look upset. You lost everything, Cindy. Cindy, times are tough. You lost your job. Everything's going really terrible. Cindy, what you gonna do, huh? What's Cindy gonna do, guys? Nobody knows. Like that way you'd be fired. You'd be sued. You'd be sued.
Right. Miss Bellwoods.
Not Miss Bellwoods.
Full of dreams.
Anyone with Bellwoods.
Only to have your resume rejected again and again. You told your parents you were busy in Seafeld City, hiding your heartbreaking loneliness behind that lie.
Again, okay, we don't have to say anything. At this point, it's just like, keep going, fine. Keep going.
Please, help me.
And Taija did the cold exclusion at school and the indifference of the adults who should have cared build a wall around your heart. One that made you afraid to open yourself up to the world again.
Can I say something now as well? I want to apologize about something really quick. Because again, while I was making a joke about this cult, right? And I'm making a joke of the cult because I'm making fun of the cult, right? I'm making fun of the idea of the cult and more like making fun of Full Wish than I am the cult. What I have to remember here is I'm like, this is a sensitive topic because these people are going through absolutely horrible times in their lives. And whilst like we can say like this is icky and it's bullcrap and like it's we can make a joke about how like, you know, she's calling out the worst moment in their life. We have to always acknowledge that like Taija here, when I'm like, you know, making, you know, a joke being like, oh, it's Taija. It's also a real person. You know what I mean? Like in this game, this is someone who got bullied at school, and now they're using that to make him want to join this cult. And that's what I'm saying. So I hope it doesn't sound like I'm being insensitive towards the people. It's always towards the cult, right? It's always towards the cult. The people are going through real stuff here, and they're being preyed upon.
Yes.
Because these are real issues. All these issues that they have here, these are real things that you need to work through.
When we were born, born, no one had to teach us how to smile. But who would have thought that one day, even smiling would become so hard?
This is why, again, I'm not saying in a good way. I'm saying she's really good at this, because that's a line that would hit someone who's going through a horrible time. Because what do you think of? Oh, I used to be happy as a kid. You know? I'm a reject. At least I was loved when I was a kid. That line always hits me. But like, yeah, it's calling upon the past while, like, you know, trying to give you an avenue for the future.
Once, our world was blessed by Aha's grace. A gentle world in canvas, painted in elation. For centuries, humans and Imaginaes lived freely together in that eternal haven. Until the Inter-Astral Peace Corporation violently tore us away from that sanctuary. They brought us their so-called inter-astral civilization, imposed their so-called standards of happiness, and told us that life's ultimate joy lies in self-focus, self-indulgence, and self-satisfaction.
And look at this, now it switches to anger. It's again, it's perfect manipulation, right? Again, I'm not saying the IPC hasn't caused problems. I want to make that clear. The IPC, if you throw a rock at the IPC building, I'm not gonna be like, hey, no, don't do that. I'll be like, give me a rock as well, right? But like, it's the fact that like it's pointing all of like their unhappiness at one enemy, and it's a great way to like make people enemies of the IPC. Even though again, the IPC deserve it, but again, it's she's done like a perfect like manipulation here, right? Here's why I was sad. Here, I was going through similar stuff that you were. Also, I was helped by the society. Now look at all of you. You're going through horrible stuff, right? Remember what it was like to smile as a kid? Remember what it was like to be happy? Do you want to feel that again? Right? Everything was good until the IPC got here. And they imposed their standards of happiness on us. And they told us that all this is to do with commercialism and self-indulgence and self-satisfaction. And again, those things can be direct, like, things that affect you personally and affect your lives. Corporations coming into a town can literally ruin people's lives. It can literally ruin people's lives. But she's using it here as like a very big manipulation tactic.
They flooded us with dazzling material desires, blinding our hearts. They fed arrogance and prejudice into our minds through the network, making us chase pleasure for ourselves and forget that true elation is found when we smile together.
Again, there's nothing wrong with the individual lines. If someone said this to me about the IPC, I'd be like, about the first line, before the smile together thing, I'd be like, yeah, that sounds like something the IPC would do here. My fan just turned up a bit notch there as well, but if you can hear it, I apologize.
Wish power has turned into fuel. Credits jingle where heartfelt laughter used to ring.
She is a wordsmith.
We drown in anxiety, competition, and an endless sense of not being enough. And in all that noise, we can no longer hear Aha's gentle voice.
She's just very good at this. And that's horrible. She's very good at this.
Elation, the truest light of life itself, is being eaten away and replaced by the external.
You said it. I work myself to death for scraps, and my boss doesn't even notice.
This is what I'm talking about, right? Like, there's legit issues with the IPC. There's legit issues with corporations coming into a town and taking over. That you're talking about people losing their jobs. You're talking about people like, you know, now having to like adhere to the corporate standards or whatever the IPC want. This is factual. We said it before. Oh my god, I'm the biggest hater of the IPC coming into planets and taking them over. Judge me by my entire playthrough and hear what I say about the IPC all the time. But obviously, like, the issue here is not the facts that the IPC could ruin a planet and have ruined planets and have, like, taken over planets. And that's not the problem here. The problem is that Full Wish is clearly using this idea and this notion to prey upon the minds and the emotions of these people. That's the issue.
And those useless loudmouths online. They do nothing with their lives, yet constantly judge everyone else.
And they're just like adapting their problems to the IPC stuff.
The IPC is nothing but a nest of vampires. They're feeding off of us.
I don't disagree with that either. Again, on their own, some of these sentences are like, yeah, sure. You know?
Miss Full Wish, please tell us
us how, not, I hope I can be happy. Tell us how to be happy. This is so bad.
Look around you. This land was once blessed by the master of elation. And yet now, it's overflowing with misery. Everyone's chasing their own happiness, but in doing so, they wound others without even noticing. Do you remember the moment I found happiness again? It was when someone who is suffering just as I was, smiled at me. Even through their pain, they gave me that smile. A smile filled with blessings. That smile saved my life.
I feel like I don't even got to say anymore, guys. I feel like I've said everything needs to be said about this type of stuff here as well. I know like I'm Mr. Yapper for something to shut me up. That's obviously a big deal, but I feel like I've said everything needs to be said about this thing right now.
So listen well. Only by opening your heart and sharing your smile with another can you truly grasp what happiness means. It isn't just giving a smile, it's embracing the power that Aha bestowed upon us to smile.
And she's saying it's already in you. You can do it yourself, and it's making them feel like, whilst she's using it for obviously ulterior motives, it's making people feel like they have the power themselves to do this too, which again, you do have the power to make yourself feel better, but it's hard.
Happy smiles. I'll help you rediscover the smile buried within yourself, and Aha will grant your life a transformation. Our mission doesn't end with finding our own smiles. We must bring them to the world and spread true happiness across all existence.
It's crazy that Lygus spoke for less. It's crazy that Lygus is more summarized with his talks than Full Wish here. Even Lygus would be standing here being like, Jesus, she talks for a long time, doesn't she? And I get that's what it is. It's her speech. It's her place. It makes sense. And I want to make it clear as well. I don't think it's bad writing to have her speak for so long to the point that I'm literally bubbling and with oh my God, someone stop her. Because I think the whole point is that from the outside perspective, you're listening to the speech and going, are people buying this whole thing? Oh my God, what's wrong with it? Oh my God, she really is reeling them in. But from the perspective of people that are listening to this, it's this is inspirational, this is beautiful, this is amazing, this is incredible. Oh my God, this is the best thing to happen in my life. So I think it's very much intentional that I'm sitting here a little bit annoyed. I do. I know that's maybe people say as a cop out to be oh no, Cal, maybe it's just the thing's going on too long. It's a speech. It's an inspirational speech. It's her event. It's her thing to be here. She was advertised to be here. She was going to speak for a long time. But the whole point, I feel is as players, we're supposed to be looking at this being oh my God, stop. Why would you say this? While the outside, everyone who's watching this and in the crowd is this is the best thing ever.
While others pray to the eons for their own desires, we, the true followers of Aha, carry a higher calling to fulfill their wish.
To fulfill Aha's wish?
Yeah.
Yes. To still every cry of sorrow. To wipe away every bitter tear. We will build, no, rebuild. A world where smiles never fade and elation never dies.
So she's saying that this is his wish to rebuild a world where smiles never fade and elation never dies, which I guess would kind of match Aha's kind of vibe of wanting things to be kind of constantly entertaining. But doesn't Aha also get entertained by a crying baby? Doesn't Aha also isn't Aha the type of person who if an old lady was walking down the street and she, God forbid, I would hate to see that happen, an old lady or an old man or whatever gender of old person fell on the street, I'm pretty sure Aha would find that beautiful,
It is her happiness! It is her laughter!
Oh my God, the laugh as well? No. That's so weird.
The speech is over. What's your take, Detective?
Cult.
She's so far gone, it's hard to make sense of it.
Cult.
Then let's not overthink it. Let's talk to her directly.
Absolute cult. Here's the thing. as I said, individual parts of the whole speech, fine, right? The whole idea of like finding a friend who can make you feel better, finding someone who you can connect with and you can relate to, finding a place where you belong. All those things can be very, very helpful. Talking about the IPC as someone that's like a vampire that drains the world. It's like, yes, it can be like that as well, 110%. If you insult the IPC and talk about like the corporate pain that they brought in worlds, it's like, yeah, sure. Sparkle also complained about the IPC, right? But it's all of it together used as a manipulation tactic, preying on people's emotions. And instead of helping them, this is also just making them wallow in their own emotions to try and put a band-aid on it. And the band-aid is a form of full wish here as well. I just don't see it as a good thing of what just happened here. I just don't. And here's the thing, when it comes to like the whole speech being very, very long, I wonder what you guys thought about that. Because for me, like, it was one of those things where like I felt like I was getting very annoyed by her. But I think that's also like one of those things where, you know, like, I always hate that like answer when you don't like someone goes like, oh, this horror movie is absolutely horrific, and they go, that was the point, it was supposed to make you feel absolutely disgusted. And it's like, yeah, but sometimes it can just be disgusting, right? And sometimes things can just be like annoying, right? Sometimes it can be. But I figure like in terms of a writing technique, to have a character who is spewing so much bullcrap that the player knows it's bullcrap, I think it has to be kind of like an intentional thing to want the player to kind of be sitting there and be like, what the hell is like, Jesus Christ, like this lady is annoying me. You know what I mean? And what they're saying is annoying me, and it's brutal. Because I was like, I had this bubbling feeling of just like, man. And I felt that way with Lygus too, where I was like, Jesus Christ, Lygus. Like, whenever he was, and again, I think it was probably a different annoyance for you know, in a lot of ways, but like, I do think that like in this case, we were supposed to be sitting here going like, what the hell is happening with this speech? And then we're supposed to feel like, wait, what? Everyone's cheering for this? Everyone is buying this? So I think it's probably like an intentional thing to be kind of like a bit irritated by Full Wish's speech and a bit like kind of like, Jesus, she's going on for a long time, isn't she? Because it's her speech, it's her event. It makes sense she would speak for a long time. So yeah, I'm gonna see that as like definitely like intentional. And if you guys didn't see it as intentional, if you guys, because I can't imagine you're supposed to like that speech. I can't imagine you're supposed to be there like, oh yeah, great, so good. Yeah, I think the intention of that entire scene was for you the player character to feel like you are the weird one for some reason amongst the crowd of people who are actually the weird ones. I'm not saying they're weird for going through trauma. I'm saying it's a weird thing where it's like they're a cult, right? And that feeling I feel like you see sometimes in TV shows where a character will be standing amongst the crowd and when the evil, you know, speech is being given. I'm not saying that was an evil speech, but like when the speech is being given and then like everyone in the crowd goes, yes, of course, yes, you're right. And then like this person in the crowd kind of be like, is everyone buying this? I feel like that was the intention of that entire scene as well, to be honest. You're under arrest.
Miss Fullwish, I'm Kuchiba from the Department of Aberration Defense. I'd like to have a chat with you.
This like speech, the music in the background feels like almost like church-like music.
Ah, I see. You're here about the Sinwish Syndicate case, aren't you?
So you were expecting us.
Oh, I heard the news. The entire Sinwish Syndicate massacred in Dovebrook District. Ah, such a cursed place.
Already framing this as something that is like it's a natural place where bad things happen, right? This music is so weird. It's like darker church music.
They may not have been saints, but I still pray for them. May their souls rest in peace.
Oh, how merciful of you.
This is what I'm talking about, because this is the exact feeling I had. That's why I think it's intentional that we're supposed to be sitting there kind of like, oh my god, this person's speech. Like Asheville has the exact response we have, which is like, oh, how good of you, how nice of you. Oh, wow, so lovely, so pragmatic, you know?
Though rumor has it the Research Society of Happy Smiles had a few run-ins with them regarding recruitment, donations, turf. Sounds like plenty of reasons for conflict, don't you think?
Are you suggesting we had the Sinwish Syndicate killed? For conflicted interests?
Wait, that's not what I said.
Yeah, he didn't even say that.
You know nothing about our finances. Every expense is covered by a charitable foundation established with the compensation from 15 years ago.
We don't need a single cent from our members.
It's interesting that, like, you know, she jumped to this right away, though, right? Now, here's the thing, though. I do think that, like, I don't want to be, like, totally on the side of, like, a detective here by saying, because, like, I want to just taking this out of context. If you said to someone, like, oh, it sounds like you, when someone got murdered and you went to someone and said, like, it sounds like you didn't like that person, though, did you? That does sound like a bit of an accusation. Right? And I feel like this is one of those times where I actually understand, like, Full Wish kind of being like, you think we had them killed? Because, like, I feel like when you see in the detective movies when the detective goes like, so Angie was killed, but Donna, you didn't get along with her, did you? It's like, and then they go, you accuse me? I'm not accusing you of anything. It's like, oh, come on, you know what you're doing. You know what you're doing. You know, it's not an accusation, but you know what you're doing. And I'm not saying Asheville is bad for doing this. Like, getting the reaction from her is actually a really good tactic.
When I heard about this tragedy, I personally allocated relief money for the victims' families to keep order and peace in Dovebrook.
So she stepped in and started, like, being the saint here.
Tell me, Miss Kuchiba, someone copied the Herald of Death and slaughtered dozens. What will your Department of Aberration Defense do this time?
This time?
We never released that detail. How do you know someone's imitating the Herald of Death?
Oh, man, yes. Oh, no.
Isn't that what you've been waiting for? For the killer to slip up so you can
Wait.
swoop in and tie everything up
Are you saying you're the
nicely?
killer? No, you're not the killer. Are you saying
15 years have passed. You don't seriously believe we're still living in an age where information can be sealed off at will, do you?
Why everyone taking notice of what she's saying?
Murders occurred, the news has long since spread online. The Sinwish Syndicate paid a fortune for some ancient mask, and the next thing you know, they're all dead. The scene painted red with traces of the bloody bloom.
And again, the fact that she's saying this so openly, she wants everyone to hear this as well, right? And she's not, like, I guess she's not wrong, because, like, in the age of, like, technology and newspapers and you know, our furbos can find out stuff like that other people can't, you know? Like, it's hard to keep things under wraps nowadays. Much harder.
Please pay no attention to baseless rumors.
Rumors? And yet you're here. That alone proves one thing.
Stop.
The rumors are true. And the new Herald of Death really does exist.
Oh my god. And in a way, like, again, we have to say Full Wish is kind of correct here. The fact that she's even here investigating this is kind of like add credence to this. The fact that we're talking about this stuff, the fact that we're saying, like, hey, don't talk about this stuff. Hey, how do you know about this stuff? It all lines up as like, yeah, it seems like it's true.
Otherwise, why do you suspect me? Only someone who knows the original case could recreate it so perfectly, right?
Oh my god, Full Wish, like, has some real insider stuff here.
Everyone! You heard
Oh
our
gosh, she's calling upon everyone.
Didn't you? The Herald of Death has returned. He's
my
here
God.
in Dovebrook. He's slain the entire Sinwish Syndicate. He's back to relive the carnage of the Phantom Moon Games.
She's not hiding this whatsoever.
Oh, the Herald of Death? Didn't the officials declare him executed? How has he appeared again?
Oh no, and now people are gonna believe that, like, he wasn't executed, possibly?
He's immortal? A demon? He's back for revenge! He'll take revenge on everyone. We're doomed!
This is so, again, tactical. Tactical from Full Wish.
Aren't gang members the very people who steal smiles from others? And isn't the best way to make bad people happy to erase them from the world?
No.
Wouldn't that be doing something good?
They're about to frame the new Herald of Death as something as, like, they did very good for the world.
Yeah, Sister Mechatron is
Oh
right.
my god!
Those thugs deserved
Oh
it.
no! Oh no! We gotta get out of here. We gotta get out of here.
Back from the dead?
No.
Lies! The IPC kept him
Oh
alive
god!
to wield him as their weapon.
No way. Oh no.
You useless officials! 15 years ago, you failed and let him get away! And that's why he's back again now!
Why is Ashville looking at Kuchiba here? And then the crowd's getting louder here too. Oh god.
Everyone, there's no need to panic.
The reason why I said this is kind of disgusting is because, again, I'm not, as I said, if anyone like got beaten up or had someone killed by the Sandwich Syndicate or something horrible happened, you're not going to sit there and be like, stop being mean to the Sandwich Syndicate. But the fact that like they're praising the idea of a murderer killing a group of people in any numbers, right? Yes, if it was a group of people that did something absolutely so abhorrent that you're like, again, you're not going to question it, but it's like one of those things, like, this is the herald of death. This is something that, like, it killed 22 children. And they're so warped in their mind that they believe that this is something that's good, that this could return as well. Or that it could be, like, the IPC's puppet as well, that they're referencing here. Like, Full Wish is, and again, Full Wish is probably going to sweep in and be, like, the saint of everyone here as well. I think the reason why Ashville maybe is looking at Kuchiba, I don't know if it's doubting her, but I think it also might be the fact that, like, maybe Kuchiba's feeling this. The fact that, like, maybe there is, like, a failure here in some ways by the her department.
Remember
Oh my god. Look at her face.
Those who live beneath Aha's brilliance, who have claimed happiness and cast off the shackles of suffering.
This artwork as well. Again, the artwork's always so good as well, but this is terrifying. She's standing there, like, hands out, like Jesus Christ himself.
Once the herald of death fed on our fear and tears. That was the source of his power. Look at the smiles on the
so
faces
unnerving.
of those around you. There is no fear left in our hearts, no tears left in our eyes. All that remains is resolve, happiness, and faith in the elation.
Oh my god. Again, like, I keep saying, I mean this as like a very dark compliment. She's good at this cult stuff. She is good at this cult stuff. Because look what she just did. Not only did she turn everyone against us almost instantly, not only did she make like the Herald of Death's return be something that like is going to terrify people, but then as soon as the peak of the fear and the panic and like this mob mentality of everyone coming together like in this very anger-induced like, you know, moment, what does she do? She's the one that swoops in and says, guys, look at what we're going to do. We're going to get through this. Well, we don't let them do this to us anymore. She has once again turned people against the IPC. She's once again made the IPC look even worse. And once again, she's become the saint that has helped them through this anger as well.
The Research Society of Happy Smiles will protect
You see
this
what I mean?
world.
She uses every single moment to her advantage. Every single moment.
Etch this into your hearts. The happy do not die.
What?
For even death cannot touch a heart filled with happiness.
Oh my god. The happy do not die. What do you think that this like is it just because like you know you can't kill happiness? You cannot kill someone who like has felt his ultimate happiness. She's trying to make him feel like once you're happy, you're like figuratively immortal.
What's going on? There's something very wrong about this woman.
Scary, Ashville. It's so scary.
Yes, as long as we're happy enough.
Oh god, get out of here. What the hell is this?
We won't die.
What the hell is this? Like the smile faces, is this like... Are we seeing this right now?
Happiness. Happiness is our weapon. Happiness will destroy the herald.
Can we get out of here? Can we get out of here? Can we leave? Can we leave right now?
Happiness will save this world. Operation Spread Happiness.
Operation Spread Happiness. This vision of just like these faceless people that have like just become these smiles, right? These harnessed smiles. They almost look like flowers as well, right?
Let happiness infect everyone, and
and spread to every corner of the sky. Make the Phantasmoon smile. Make Lord Aha laugh until they cry for us.
The voice is so like gargled and like demonic as well, right? Let's infect everyone with happiness as well. It's crazy. Get out of here, please. Leave. I don't want to look at this anymore. This is so creepy. No, my God. Okay, there has to be some other supernatural thing going on, right? There has to be.
Silence!
Kuchiba. Kuchiba. Wait, did she break some like dissonance? Because they look like they're snapping out of something.
My apologies, officers. I can't provide anything useful for now, but rest assured, I'll cooperate with any investigation from the Department of Aberration Defense or the Security Bureau.
This is so
and of
scary.
course, I'll fulfill my civic duty.
This makes me feel sick. Did she look like her shouting looked like she snapped everyone out of it? I wonder if it has something to do with like Full Wish's words. This music is so interesting, man. It's like this like very like dark church music. It's crazy.
Whether it's the newly emerged Herald of Death or the various upheavals surrounding the Phantasmoon Games, the Research Society of Happy Smiles will handle them appropriately. What we protect is the future and the smiles of plain Arcadia.
Let's go. Let's please just go. Let's please just go. Please.
Or perhaps, after all this,
no, go.
Too
go.
have felt that yearning.
Get out of
your
here.
Hearts. Would
No, I didn't mean to skip. I'm so sorry.
I'll pass. But I've got a feeling we'll meet again.
No, you're very right, Ashvale. This is not the end of this. This feels like, you know, that moment in a TV show where on season 2, a new villain has stepped into the frame. I think we have a villain. I think we have a villain at least. We know like one of the villains is like the Herald of Death. We know one of the villains like is technically you could say the IBC is a villain in some ways too, right? We knew Sparksy was the villain for the first act in a lot of ways too. It became someone that was like very fun. This feels like they are saying this isn't the beginning of this character's involvement in this story, and you can feel it. Oh my God, I'm walking through this crowd here. Asheville? Wait.
Miss Fullwish.
Wait, was that
Thank you
Cinder?
for your cooperation. Hopefully, next time we meet, it won't be like this.
Was that Cinder? Boy, Kuchiba saying something
Master of Elation watch
cool
over
again.
all and bless you with their everlasting smile.
Let go of your
What the hell happened there, man? I'm sorry, I just...
Let go of the shadow in your arms. Let go of that false sense of responsibility.
What's this voice as well, though? Let go of your obsession. Let go of the shadow of your arms. That's a false sense of responsibility. And we're back to here again.
You're the one who should be dead, aren't you?
So he has guilt over something.
Come, join your brothers. Let the gears grind to a halt. Let the hands fall still and end that life of yours that was never meant to be.
Come join your brothers? So I'm gonna screenshot this stuff as well, but like, let go of your responsibility to shadow in your arms. Does that mean like he regrets something? The shadow in your arms? The false sense of responsibility is something that maybe that happened? You're the one who should be dead sounds like someone obviously died when maybe that he was involved in. Like, are they asking, is this voice asking Ashvale to end his own life?
Sorry. That day will come. But for now, there are more important things I must do.
Yeah, man, this is an overload in this episode.
What did
it feels
you say?
like an overload of emotions and craziness. It's so, because like again, like there we have this. Like it seems like there's something happened with because we saw the voice before. I forget what they said before exactly, but like these voices in his head asking him to like come join them in death. The language here as well, which is like the whole thing. You should be wanted are dead. That sounds like something happened where he probably has survivor's guilt in some ways. Maybe he did something that led to someone's death by accident or something like that. But let go of the shattering arms is next to let go of the false sense of responsibility. Maybe it is like the idea of like this stuff with the Herald of Death. Maybe something happened with the Herald of Death where he should have died with the Herald of Death, and that's why he's so obsessed with stopping the Herald of Death as well. Maybe there's something happened that he feels responsible for, and we saw those voices back then as well. So we'll see what happens. But it seems like there's something else that's like plaguing his mind.
Nothing. Never mind. Looks like Full Wish is a much slyer fish than expected.
She's terrifying, Ashvale. She's so scary.
The bait was there, but she ignored it, and instead she stirred up a whirlpool.
Quite the opposite, actually. Not only did she take our bait, but she also flat out told us she couldn't care less about the hook.
Yeah?
Oh. Was there something I missed?
I'm sure Kajiba's going to explain it here now as well.
The bloody bloom mark from the Sinwish Syndicate massacre. How did she know that detail? When we specifically obfuscated it with special mark, even in our internal reports.
Wait, so... because the special mark was something that she could have known as well, we're saying that she obviously has a closer connection to this than we think?
She broadcasted this information word for word, and even used it to stir up public sentiment, scattering it across the place like tossing blood-soaked feed into a fish pond. Now stopping the rumors from spreading will be even harder.
So she intentionally spread that rumor so more people would hear about it as well. So and she knew about it also, and that's what we thought was happening as well. Like she was like using that to like rile them up and rile up the crowd.
Well, maybe she has her connections, or maybe she made a lucky guess as one of the victims. Regardless, she's right about one thing. Trying to stop something from spreading today sure is a lot more difficult than 15 years ago.
And that's true for our lifetime as well, right? You know, things get spread so quickly, but things die off quicker nowadays, but things get spread more quickly as well.
So, Mr. Ashvale, did your lucky radar start blaring when it came to Full Wish?
There's something very wrong about that.
I think it's very apparent.
You saw the way she played the crowd, huh? I guarantee you that it had nothing to do with her public speaking skills. She could very well be a supplicant in disguise.
Interesting, because I thought it could be supernatural as well. So maybe she is one of the supplicants?
Still, this whole run has been smoothed to an unbelievable degree. We got our bearings in no time at all. So, let's keep our prized fish in the pond for now. Full Wish is not going anywhere.
And we know where she is and we know what she's doing.
You're right.
Well, not fully what she's doing.
It's too risky to make a direct move against a well-respected philanthropist and media tycoon.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe we should start with the people around her.
I love that they talk with the public optics, which is like the IPC going after someone who like is perceived to be like basically a charity worker who has helped people through like massive trauma in their lives. We see it as a cult. Everyone from the outside probably like will see it as like, oh my god, why are you doing this as a person? Like they're helping people, you know?
There were people from all walks of life at the gathering just now. Workers, suits, students, the elderly, and even Mechatrons.
That was Cinder, right? That was Cinder.
Judging by their crazed enthusiasm, I highly doubt they'd be willing to testify against Full Wish.
Was it? It was Cinder, right? It was Cinder.
But I have my ways.
Mr. Ashvale, coercive interrogation is strictly against the rules. Please refrain from doing it somewhere I can't...
Don't get the wrong idea. I meant an old friend that I spotted at the gathering. By the way, ever watch Daybreak Squadron?
Cinder.
It's on Sunday nights at 8.
That's so sad, but Cinder was looking at Asheville. It was like, it looks so, like, why was Cinder, of all people, why was he there? By the way, Kuchiba saying this line is so funny to me as well, by the way. Don't do it in front of me, basically. Please don't do it in front of me.
I thought you weren't a TV person.
Not me. Mr. N. He watches it.
Your monkey is quite the child at heart.
Anyway, come on. Let's go get an autograph from our heroic film
He's
star.
talking with Cinder, right? He's talking with Cinder. Yeah. That is, to me, unbelievably heartbreaking because, and this game is so painful, and I'll tell you why, man. There's Cinder. You know why it's so heartbreaking? Because if he's there in that,
Time to get to work, detective.
Sorry, we have to transfer to Stell. I forgot. But the reason why that's heartbreaking, right? What's his frame? Interesting. The reason why it's so heartbreaking is because they intentionally gave us this character who, like, was finding inspiration in his life from being with Stell, right? Oh, we're still here. That's crazy. Wait, we're on our own? It's my home now. It's my place now. And like I fell in love with those Daybreak Warrior guys, and like that's really sad to see, like, where he might have ended up, you know, where he might be now. And maybe he always was there. Who knows? But that's, yeah, I hope we can talk to him and, like, maybe see if he's okay. What mail do we got? Oh yeah, cool. Very cool. Hopefully. Hopefully we can do something to help him. Hopefully. This was like actually a much heavier episode in terms of information. I feel like, you know, we got like way more information than we usually would. Like, I think there's always gonna be those episodes in Honkai Star Rail where, like, you know, we have like a lot of like big moments happen, but then sometimes there's not a lot of information. Like last episode we had like some really cool like character intros, and like we had like a cool mech battle and stuff like this as well. But I think that it's one of those things where like we sometimes then will get these like more heavier lore episodes, which are like not lore episodes, but like information and like reveals of information and story beats and stuff like that as well. So it's not just exactly lore, but it's more just kind of like, you know, we have a lot of revealed and like a lot more threads that have opened up as well in the story too. That's going to happen all the time as well. What we just saw, and we can just talk about this cult like right away, I think, because this cult, the society, this Smiles Society, the Smiles Society, the Society of Smiles, I've already said like so much about this, so I feel like it's one of those things where like I people know my opinion on this, obviously, and I know you guys, what your opinion is going to be as well. This is so clearly, first of all, I think it is emotional manipulation, but there clearly is some other type of like magic or power going on here as well, because we saw what happened with Kachiba when she shouted down this cult. They all snapped out of something for a second there. But it's also like the type of like when I say like she's a good cult leader, I don't mean it like in terms of morals. I mean in terms of like, oh my god, she's like really good at like what she's able to do here. And the example I want to give here is just like the thread, the line in which she like moves from, you know, in the way she does things. She relates to them and makes it feel like, you know, you're on the same level as me. I feel your pain as well, and I felt pain. She tells him how she fixed it. I fixed it with the love of this organization, and someone else helped me into this organization. I fixed it that way. I was also a victim. I went through trauma and all this stuff as well. I can relate to you. What did you go through? Making sure they're reminded the pain that they went through. Oh, you went through that. You went through this. Oh, you did that. Oh, this horrible thing happened to you. And then what's the next thing to do then? Do you remember what it was like to smile? Do you remember what it was like to feel good? Playing on their past experiences with life. I remember as a child I was happy all the time. If you're going through a very depressing time, a very depressive episode, and going through a really horrible time, if someone says, hey, remember when we used to watch Rugrats together with like cookies and milk and just watched it on a Saturday morning, like as a kid, you know what you're going to feel like? You're going to probably want to cry. Because it's like, man, that was a simple time. If I could go back to that, it'd be a lot easier. And that's the same thing with this. Where it's like, reminding people that they did have happiness. And what's the easiest way to do it? Because again, manipulation. If you say, remember when you were happy 3 years ago? They go, no, I was sad then too. Oh, remember when you were happy when you were in your old workplace? No, I was unhappy there too. What's the easiest way for, and again, not everyone, because some people have bad childhoods, but like, it's like in a blanket statement, one of the easiest ways to like capture people is instead of say like, remember your childhood, is just to say, remember what it was like to smile. Because you don't have to be specific. You don't have to tell them there was a happier time like in their childhood. They just have to remember, oh yeah, when I was in 5th class and I was on the football team. Oh yeah, when I was playing Yu-Gi-Oh with my buddies, you know what I mean? Like there's like these different, oh yeah, when I would like here's the thing, like when I go through like sad times, right? Like obviously I always remember like there's always something I think about where I go like, man, it was a lot easier when you just come home every evening and you're watching an episode of Yu-Gi-Oh, right? Of course. But that's normal. That's totally normal. But she's using those things to like, make it go deeper. And then in the end, she becomes this kind of like almost hero where it's like, you are safe here and you will get through this. We'll all get through it together. There's other tactics she used here as well that I think are absolutely freaking crazy as well. And again, I want to make it clear. I do think there's also something else going on here in terms of like magical manipulation, maybe like, mimetic stuff, who knows. But or sound stuff even. But like another point of manipulation as well she uses here as well, which is so powerful, is that she is their savior. She doesn't act like, because she wants them to believe that she is like on the same level as them, but like the hands out as she's telling them that you will stay safe in this organization. We will not let the Herald of Death get to us. But she has no problem spouting off like what's happening with the Herald of Death. Why? Because that fear that Pearl talked about earlier will spread. The more people know about what happened with the Herald of Death, the Herald of Death's return, oh, we got the bloom hand, everything's there. The more people that hear about that, the more fear that happens. And what happens with the fear? Yes, it creates an energy for this supplicant, whoever's the Herald of Death, but you know what else it does? Drives people towards safety. And what did they believe is safety? This society. And she has more people then joining her crew. And you saw people when they're getting riled up here. Again, it has to be magical influence as well, but they were going absolutely nuts. They were going crazy talking about this stuff aggressively, like, oh, just, the IPC sucks, all this stuff as well. And she used this opportunity to like stop them in their tracks. And again, bring them this kind of like fake safety of like, you're here with me, you're here with me. And then like the circle around Ashvale and Kochiba, so intentional to make them feel surrounded. The pressure that she was putting on this as well. She is like really good at being like this really unbelievably terrible cult leader. As I said, like listening to her was like sickly. It was like, oh my God. Like what she's saying is absolute like a load of crap. And it's not, I want to make clear, as I said, on the individual levels, some of the stuff she said, if you said this to someone like on a normal day, it's like, hey, like, connect with people. Great, right? Find something that gives you a purpose. Great, right? In principle, great. Practice harder. We know this too. So I never want to be like person's like, hey, just get a hobby, clean your room. Like that's bullcrap, right? It takes effort for people. But like all these things in a vacuum are great, right? Like not the phrasing. I mean like the actual ideas behind it. Like if you boil them down to like maybe a nicer form where it's like, hey, gain connection. That smile that someone gave you, embrace it, right? All these things like, try and find what makes you happy. Great. But that's not what was said here, right? That's not at all what was said here. It's letting people wallow in their emotions so that they can feel like they are a part of something, that they can feel like they're part of something greater, and preying on their emotions and things that they went through to like make them like feel that this is necessary for them as well. And as we said, like Kochiba did something really amazing there at the end there where found out that like, yeah, she talked about the hand, which again, not many people would know. She's going to spread this out as well, which means that she wants this to spread, but also that means she knows way more than she's letting on to, which again, we can kind of predict at that point she knows more than she would think, because what happened as soon as the Asheville mentioned what happened with the Sandwich Syndicate, she made sure everyone circled in around them. Almost like instantly letting them know, hey, you're not getting anything out of this day. And then when everything calmed down after Kochiba shouted, I'll work with you officers at some point. And she again looks, she's smelling of roses to these people, because what's happening now? These bully police officers came into our organization and started accusing our leader of something. And Kochiba talks about this as this is what the optics will look like, regardless of what we know about Full Wish and how we don't think she's a morally good person. The optics are this. The IPC and a private detective, under the supervision of Pearl, or the support of Pearl, went to a lady who is helping people get back on their feet and reduce the trauma that they went through and like find friends, and they badgered her. They made her feel small and they insulted her. They accused her of murder. Oh my god. Because she was very smart for mentioning the optics there as well. It's very, very interesting. Yeah, that cult is like absolutely insane. It's absolutely insane. But as well, we also saw the stuff there from Asheville too, where he has this past of some kind, and I'm guessing it has to relate to the Bloodstained games in some ways. I'm guessing that it maybe has something to do with maybe survivor's guilt, or maybe something happened where he like should have quote unquote died, but he was able to survive, and in the voice in his head is consistently probably telling him that like, you know, you shouldn't be alive, which I think actually happens with like, I'm not mistaken, you guys probably know this more than me, but with like people that do have survivor's guilt, like it's not always a voice, but there's always a feeling of like, I should be dead with them, I should join them, right? I shouldn't be here. And it's a horrible thing because obviously like, you know, it should be a feeling of relief, but a lot of people feel like, let's say if like there's a plane crash and like, you know, 100 people die and then you're the only one left alive. Even in that moment, people can feel, even if you didn't know anyone on the plane, you're thinking to yourself, why am I alive? Right? Thinking about those people that died. Why do I get to live? But Asheville says something really interesting, was like, I'm going to die someday, but I have to do something. So he definitely, as even like Kojima picked up on this, it's very personal for Asheville. He has to find out something about this whole thing here as well. It's very, very, very personal. And I think that's honestly like, you know, it's clear here as well that whatever happened with the Bloodstained games, of course his friend was involved in it too. But it's still very, how do I say it? It's still, you know, up in the air. It's still up in the air. We don't know exactly what's happening there, but we will probably maybe find out more as we're going forward as well. Also, he saw Cinder. I keep calling him Cinder, but yeah, it's Cinder in the crowd, which is just heartbreaking. And intentionally they did that. They gave us a really lovely like 2 hours with Cinder, having this really fun time, chatting to him, seeing the hopeful nature of this kid. And then he's a part of this cult. And you saw him looking at Asheville in the crowd. It's almost like he looked distressed, kind of like, you know, and maybe he's new. Maybe he just showed up. Maybe he showed up for the first time to this thing here to see what it's like. And he saw Asheville because he looked like he was with it still. He looked like he still noticed Asheville as well. We have to see what's going to be happening with that story as well also. The stuff with Pearl I think was also like really well done. And also the stuff I think with like afterwards with Asheville as well also. But like what we got from the stuff with Pearl was like Pearl, you know, obviously had this beautiful introduction to these characters, but then also wanted to find out what they wanted from the Phantasm Moon games. Obviously still always in the back of her mind, the Anti-Destruction Alliance is in the back of her mind. Her motivation, she said, that she wants to be able to like find that same power that Graphia had in terms of that Maginesis is what it's called, I believe. So she can like paint other stuff again because she's again for the IPC's benefit as well and for her benefit, but she's able to do all this stuff, but she said she's not able to like really replicate in the exact same way. So she wants to be able to like find that for herself as well. It's the motivation of what Stell said here. At first I was like, is Stell being the gremlin that she usually is, right? Let's make Aha the leader of the Anti-Destruction Alliance. And at first I was like, wait, really? Then I was like, wait, Himiko's laughing. Is this a joke? And I was like, no, it's not a joke. Like, she really wants this to happen. And the concept of like, you know, Aha not being able to say no, and I think it's a solid like answer here as well, which is like, why would Aha say yes? It's because, well, why would Aha say no? Because the world is going to be destroyed by this destruction, and Aha can't laugh at anything or enjoy anything if the world is empty again. And we know the quote from Aha is like the baby crying, right? The baby crying is such an important quote because some people believe that Aha laughed not because he was laughing at a crying baby, but because the world now was filled with stuff that could be laughed at and could be enjoyed, and the world would start to fill up some more. So I feel like Aha would not want that to be gone. I feel like he wouldn't want that to be destroyed. So it really does make sense to me in a lot of ways, this thought process. And also, it's like, I think you couldn't say no to Aha. You also, in a way too, like, what a way to give credence and importance to the Anti-Destruction Alliance. Everyone would want to join if like a freaking, if a Eon was the leader, of course people are going to want to join. Of course people are going to be like, yeah, oh my god, like it's going to gain more support and garner more attention as well. But yeah, it's an interesting concept, and honestly, I think it's like a really cool like way of like twisting and turning the story a little bit. They're going to be putting on a festival for the Star Rail, for the Astro Express. I think they call it Star Rail Fest, which is so interesting. I wonder if that's a real thing. The idea behind this has like a bunch of different meanings too, and it's such great writing again. Whereas in one ways, it is a good thing for the Astro Express because they will get more attention and will add more credence to their campaign to become the person who meets Aha. That attention is very, very needed. But from Pearl's perspective, she clearly wants to draw out the other supplicants. And from Ashvale, as he said, from his perspective too, it's like, well, that could also lead to the death of like many, many people, because if they want a better way to recreate what happened with the freaking Bloodstained games than doing it in a big convention. So this could lead to like something very tragic, which would also give support to the supplicant. Because I believe they said the supplicant is someone who killed people as well, right? Because they mentioned that the supplicant can't put on the mask twice. So yeah, so they're saying that that supplicant, that is copying the Bloodstained games would have a perfect opportunity to enact more murder and do more Bloodstained game stuff. And yeah, but it's also the same to it's to draw out that as well. It's to draw that out. And for Ashville, and she wants Ashville to look over too. But yeah, it's a very like dangerous idea to draw out the two other supplicants to make sure that they appear at this festival. But the Astro Express are going to be there, hopefully, to be able to like stop it in some ways as well. But I just think it's like very dark but very serious writing as well. We found out who like the original Bloodstained games perpetrator was, the original Herald of Death. It's Marcus Antony, and he worked for the IPC in a now defunct department. And he himself, after he had killed a lot of people, they brushed a lot of the investigation under the rug. They paid off a lot of the families, which then would lead them to join to create the Society of Smiles and stuff like that as well. But they paid off a lot of families, and Marcus Antony was basically like executed. They say executed 5 years ago, and then was forgotten about at that moment as well. Not forgotten about, but they tried to make people forget about him. But obviously, that's very, very difficult because you can like kill the person, but killing the idea is like very difficult. And killing you get rid of a murderer, that doesn't get rid of the trauma that they left behind as well. But they did pay off people in like massive amounts of money to get people to not to forget, to like not investigate this, and to also like maybe heal over the pavement a little bit, or smooth over the cement, to kind of be like, look, let's keep going with life and all this stuff too. But obviously this has led to more distrust in the IPC. This has led to more of a cover up of the IPC too, and of course we saw that being used later on too. But one thing that's really important about the scene also is like Ashvale gave up 1 billion credits just to get this information. And I wonder, I don't think Pearl was testing him. I think maybe Pearl was just like using her logic things to be like, her logic part of her programming to be like, oh, he'll accept this, he'll want this instead. But obviously that's not exactly what he wanted in the end. He wasn't looking for payment. He was looking for the answers. And this is personal to him. And we saw that later on. That's what I'm saying. I wonder if the flashbacks have something to do with the Bloodstained games too, because even then he was like so aggressive. I want the answers. I want the answers. He's not talking about wanting the money, even though there usually would be something. And they established that. We already said they established an amazing way that he like would trick two people to get the same amount, to get more money. But it's very clear that like here he was very much serious about the happenings that were going on in this situation. He definitely wanted like more. He was more serious about it. He was more hurt by it. He was more serious about it. And we even saw that later as well, like when it came to the stuff with the investigation he's doing now. Like he was like, very much like, going right into the lion's den as it comes to this like cult as well. Like he's definitely dealing with this. And that's what I'm saying, like with his whole like whatever the Survivors Guild might be, it's personal. It's very personal for Ashvale. Even beyond the Costite stuff, it's very, very personal for Ashvale as well. Yeah, it's very personal. I also really love the notion of like who has the most masks and who has allies and stuff like this too. Because now we have the Sparksy mask, we have the Sunday mask, and we have the Raccoon mask. They have the Ashvale mask technically, and they have Silverwolf's mask, I guess, and they have the mask Silverwolf has that I believe they're giving to Blade, right? and they have they have Blade's mask, they have Ashvale's mask, and they have the Pearl mask. So they have those 3 masks. And so there's 2 masks that are left unaccounted for in the supplicants in this Phantasm games. But I love how they frame this as like how they're showing how you can be allies in this tournament. You don't have to fight each other, and that's what kind of they want in some ways, is to be like to do this without causing pain, to do this without causing mass violence, to do this without hurting people, to create miracles that aren't murder and painful. And again, that's the thing. Aha is looking for attention, is looking for clicks, is looking for it to be entertained. And in a lot of ways, there's multiple different ways to do that with the Eon as well, right? You can't just do a dance, obviously. You can't just do a little jig. Maybe some people doing a jig might be fun as well. It might be funny, you know? But yeah, I also really like that they brought up that kind of like alliance and like the difference in the masks and how there's 2 supplicants really unaccounted for at this stage as well. And even like Pearl didn't even know that like Sunday had one of the masks as well. She was actually kind of like, oh, he has one of the masks? Oh, interesting. Like it's something that she was like not aware of whatsoever. Yeah, it's like really, really like great political stuff, but it's more like, I guess not even political stuff, but it's more like, you know, strategical stuff as well, which I actually really like also. But yeah, like what we got from that whole scene and the stuff with Ashvale and all this stuff too was like, Aha, they want Aha to be the leader of the Anti-Destruction Alliance. Ashvale is taking this very personally, and you can see the pain in his eyes as he's doing this, and the pain in his voice as he's talking about this. Ashvale even turned down 1 billion credits to find out the information here. Marcus Antony was the person who would carried out this murders, and he was a member of the IPC, and now he was like, they're paid a massive amount of money to kind of like make the problem go away. They drank mung bean soda, which was not very nice as well. There's a cult going around that is doing absolutely horrible stuff, and clearly like there's some magic going on with that cult too, but they're also trying to like spread fear as well, I believe also. And of course Pearl is trying to stop the fear from spreading, because she believes that it's stopping this as quick as possible is the best option, because what will happen is, just like the way that laughter spreads, just like the way that love spreads, fear spreads a lot quicker, I would bet too, because if you're talking about people being afraid of the return of the Bloodstained Games and the Herald of Death, that would be something that would terrify people. And again, driving people into Full Wish's arms, but also like just in general, that would build fear amongst this location, amongst this world. The more fear, the more power that will be given to this person who's creating that fear. But then also at the same time too, if you think about it like in that way, like that's the way it works. Because Stell got admiration from the Power Rangers guys, and she gained power during that battle. So there is like a thing where they will like gain power through different wishes, and the power of wishes is not just laughter, it's not just like, oh my god, I love this guy, it's also fear of this person. It's like emotions giving power to people as well. And also, if I can say so about that cult, that moment there when they were all like, you know, because I think it's so difficult to say, but it's like, you understand if someone saw like a gang who terrorized people dying and they were just like, man, good riddance. You're not going to judge people for thinking that. But I think it's just seeing people physically be like, yes, slaughter them. You're like, oh my god, like this is where they, because here's the thing, even with like any justified feeling you would have about that, most humans would not do that, even if it is to protect their own brains, their minds, and protect their own like, you know, because like, you know, humans have the part of the brain where they try to like not, you know, some of them have like shame, right? And a lot of people, even if they like truly like, you know, believed it, don't stand in the street going like, yes, slaughter them, yes. Some people do, and they're very evil. I'm not saying, oh, that sounds bad, because I'm saying that like, you know, people who like, because some people are abhorrently evil and like they deserve whatever's coming to them, whatever. Like, you know, I'm not talking about that, but I'm talking about like, you know, it's just the image of people being like, yes. I'm not saying these people are evil, they're being manipulated. I want to make that clear. They're being manipulated. You know, kill all these people, you know, slaughter them. And I was like, it was such a hard thing to watch, because you're like, what has happened to these people? What has happened to these people that they're like this? But yeah, more stuff with the Phantasm games. An introduction to Full Wish, who I believe is going to come back, as I said, like already just a great villain to introduce to the story, who has so much power without actually being someone in the IPC or someone like, you know, who is a direct like follower of any particular like known organization that we all know already, right? She's not a Zancho official. She's not a IPC representative. She's not someone who like she was a victim of the Phantasm games, and that's something that's like going to be so important too. She was someone who was legitimately a victim of the Phantasm games, but survived as well. And it's interesting that she's talking about the idea of survival, and then like of course Ashvale's having those flashbacks of like, you know, you should have died. I wonder if that's going to connect to that as well, the idea of like, survivor's guilt versus maybe revenge as a survivor. But it seems as well that like Asheville's also looking for revenge. You know, Asheville is looking for revenge. So there is like this kind of theme of revenge going on. There's this theme of like, you know, surviving trauma and yeah, there's a lot of stuff that's going on here that feels like very connected as well. Really, really cool stuff though. Scary stuff, but really, really cool stuff going on here with all the stories together. I love the mean, and to put a pin on this as well, I love the mean between Pearl and Stell and all, because it was really like very pleasant, but also you could tell there was also an underlying tension of like, can't let her like persuade us into like doing anything with the Anti-Destruction Alliance. We still want to beat the Sale. But it wasn't something that felt like, you know, everyone was being brutal to each other. It was actually kind of very like sportsmanship, right? Where it's like, oh, you have 3, we have 3. Let's get this done. Let's make a deal about this whole event. It was cool. It was cool. Conversation 2. And to put an end to all this conversation, Asheville as a character is so great. And what a way to introduce a character that, like, as I said, started off as like a very goofy, bumbly detective, but you knew he could get the job done. And over time, this more serious attitude that he has he's still very charming. He's still very funny. But when he needs to be serious, you can tell that like the weight of like the past has made him into someone who can be this serious, into someone who has felt his pain. It feels like maybe the Bloodstained games have like, and not even feels like it has brought up all this pain again for him, 100%. And we're seeing a every different side to Asheville for sure. Guys, thank you so much for watching this. Thank you so much for always supporting this series. I want to say thank you so much for always supporting Honkai Star Rail. I adore you. Adore you, adore you. I adore you, adore you. And I want to say also that if you want to see these videos early, you can do so on YouTube members or on Patreon for €1 or whatever it is in your currency. You can see every single video of Honkai Star Rail on the Patreon or YouTube memberships for the entire month that you're pledged, and every single video of Honkai Star Rail comes out early. This video came out on Tuesday, if you want to know when it came out, but of course, like, it varies from week to week. Like for Rome Reacts week, this would be like a Wednesday video, for example, depending, right? If there's like stuff that's like we're doing like in Genshin, it might be the Thursday video, but it will be out early. It will be out early. Obviously, non-Rome Reacts week, it comes out like obviously a little bit earlier. If you want to see your name go by in the text credits, which is going by right now, that's the Chunky Baby Gangsta tier, and you get that for every single video as well, not just Honkai Star Rail, and that's the €10 tier on YouTube members and Patreon as well. And if you want to hear your name be shouted out at the end of every single video, that is the Never Can Repay the Baby Gangsta tier, and that is the highest tier on my YouTube members and my Patreon, and that is the €15 tier. And I want to say thank you to the patrons first at the highest tier, that being Typharo 2, Jamie Bull, Janet the Banana, The Ghost of Inazuma, Delicious Felix, Yuld, Anusta, The Assassin, True Peanut Butter, Peter Shelson, Leon, Hikesperian, Neo Showright, Leah 200, Malcolm Kunde, Axor21, and the highest tier of my YouTube members, Blasco, Lusanagi, and Shen. I'll see you guys very, very soon. Bye-bye!